We're one car away from bidding on a Chevy Silverado that I've been eyeballing for weeks. It was flooded out and then frozen. And it's an LTZ with only 50,000 miles. Here we go, here we go. Oh my gosh, this is a flood truck. No, license not on file. Oh no, what do you mean license not on file? I need to know the lot number. Oh, come on, dude. I must have done this wrong. Come on, come on, come on. Load, where's bid, where's bid? No, I pressed the wrong button, bid.
New bidder.
Okay, I'm in, Chevy Silverado. I have been waiting for this guy forever. That's my bid, 43. I'm winning. Oh my gosh, guys. I just seriously had a heart attack. I thought I was logged in on my phone. I've been waiting for about a month to bid on this car. I had all my licensing and everything was all set to bid on the Silverado, and it said I couldn't bid. This is crazy. I had to fire it up on the computer and I got it and I won with like 5 seconds left. I am having a heart attack right now. Okay, let me calm down. Now, I've always wanted to buy a flood totaled out vehicle, and I've thought that a pickup truck would be good to buy because they are so high up, it's gotta be difficult to actually damage anything important, and the insurance company just writes it off and you can get a really good deal. But then I found this Chevy Silverado and it intrigued me too much. Curiosity got the best of me because of the yellow flood line that the insurance draws on it when they go out to the scene to assess the damage. Now, I dug into this because I saw this sticker on the back of the Silverado. It looks like some kind of fish. So when I ran the Carfax and found that this Silverado was a one-owner, dealer maintained with 50,000 miles out of Wisconsin in an area where there are lakes, and that it was totaled in October, I thought to myself, was this guy just backing up into the boat ramp to get his boat out of the water and he went too far? You guys have seen these viral videos sometimes where guys mess up and then their pickup truck is floating. Is that what happened? And the flood line was in the back. So it's possible that the engine was left undamaged because it would have been at the top of the ramp. So is this Silverado truly totaled out, or could we get it running? Now, I will say this, in the picture with the instrument cluster, it looks to have water inside of it, which would indicate the entire cabin was full of water, and it is wintertime now, and especially in Wisconsin where this car is located, it's outside from what I understand. So they take the pictures inside and they put it outside. It could just be one big frozen block of ice. But as you can see, I'm already in my van with a different car in the trailer. We're gonna drop this off, pay for the vehicle online. We're heading out tomorrow to drag this Silverado back to legit street quarters and see if we can get it to run. All right, I'm in the passenger seat now because we have a 3-hour drive back, and I did not actually win just yet. I was the highest bidder, but it was sold on approval. I was freaking out in the moment, didn't notice that. So I got up to 4,300 bucks, and I just got a message from the auction that their reserve is $5,300. So I can either accept that or I can counter bid. So 43, they're at 53. I'm gonna go 5. I think that'll definitely lock it up. I don't wanna lose this thing. I lost it 7 days ago during bidding because I couldn't bid. This required a special license I didn't have and I applied for it, but it didn't sell at $49.50. I think they'll take 5, but I don't think they're gonna take much less. Here we go, people. Counter bid and confirm. Come on, baby. All right, we increased our bid. See what happens. I ended up having to go up to 5,300, which was their reserve, but the Silverado is mine. Here she is, and these guys are nice enough to load it right onto my trailer because I don't know if my winch will do that. That's heavy, but man, that's cool. Yeah, and this is a biohazard, as you can imagine. Oh my gosh, this truck was probably mint before the flood. The underneath looks beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was so nice of them to do that. Wow, the color on this thing is amazing. It's a Wisconsin truck its entire life. Decent tires, and this window is either bashed out or it's down. Was that why it flooded? Did they leave it out in like a crazy rainstorm and the entire cab filled? I don't know. This is the sticker I was zooming in on the pictures. It's gotta have something to do with fishing. Was this guy a boat owner who had an accident? I don't know, but we're gonna check out this interior. Oh my gosh. It has been outside, I think, the entire time. So there's a good chance, because it's winter, that this thing has just been frozen, which could be good for control modules. If everything was frozen, maybe it didn't have any time to corrode, maybe. Although the mold on the seat kind of tells a different story, that is for sure. Oh my gosh, this mold is definitely growing. That's why it's a biohazard. Oh my gosh, look at the water's frozen in the cup holders. Jeez. Oh, the mold is nasty. Oh man, guys, look at the owner's manual. It's frozen, but you could tell that it absorbed a ton of water. It's literally, it's a block of ice. This is insane. Oh. Look at this. These napkins are totally frozen. And check out the cluster. I saw this in the pictures too. And yeah, I mean, water could have literally been in here. The wipers are stuck like that. Surprisingly though, the carpets aren't like frozen. Like they're cold, but they're not frozen. We have a key. And then this window also is down or maybe bashed out. I don't see any glass, but there she is, guys. There's the flood line all the way up there, filling the entire cab of this Silverado LTZ. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really wet in here, but it had to have been, obviously. I mean, yeah. Oh, wait. These carpets are a little crunchy, actually. There might be, yeah, there's totally ice. Yep, this is just all frozen. Oh, man. I mean, everything is frozen right now, but it doesn't smell in here at all. Should probably have a mask on with all this mold, so let's get out of here. Here she is. It's a 5.3 liter V8, and that is the big question. Well, there's a million big questions, but does this engine run? Did it completely fill with water? If so, we're not gonna be in good shape, but man, am I so excited to pull the spark plugs and borescope and drain fluids. I mean, this is gonna be crazy. Oh man, this was a cream puff, guys. Look at the bed. It basically wasn't used. This looks great. It was already coated, as you can see right there. This is such a nice truck. So it's an LTZ Z71 off-road package in probably the best color ever. Look at this, guys. This is amazing. I have no idea if this is gonna be possible, but if we can get this thing to actually run and drive and not have 4 million electrical gremlins, that would be so cool. I mean, I got this for $5,300 plus fees, which we'll talk about, but about $20,000 less than it would sell for if it, you know, wasn't underwater getting a boat. I officially bought a frozen Flood Silverado, and I am literally frozen myself. It is like 0 degrees out, but nonetheless, we are loaded up, supercharged LSC van, towing another Chevy, ready to go. We made it back 2 legit 3/4, and we swapped out the van for the turbo Jeep Wrangler. I've learned that this thing is just so much more maneuverable in our tiny little back lot, so we're gonna use it to get the Silverado in the shop. I'm gonna put it in gear. Do smell a little bit of clutch there. It's okay, you know. I got a turbo Jeep for a reason, right? To move flooded Silverados around. Well, I'm under the Silverado. We can't get it into neutral by putting the column shifter, you know, into neutral like you normally would. But this is a 2015, so it still has a mechanical shift linkage. We should be able to pop this off. Yes, just like that. All right, I hope we strap this thing pretty well. Oh man, this trans could be filled with water. I'm trying to shift it manually. We should be able to pop it right in. Oh, this thing could be totally filled with water and frozen. Okay, hammer time? Come on. Oh no. Oh, it's not going. I don't want to break it off either if it's a chunk of ice behind there. Great. Oh, this is ice. This is solid ice. Yeah, this isn't happening, guys. Oh my gosh. What did I get myself into? Oh my gosh. Getting too old for this. Okay. I definitely got my stretching in for today. Let me tell you, an aluminum trailer when it's 0 degrees out, especially, is just like a big heat sink. It just took all the heat from my body. I'm frozen. We're just bringing the whole truck in with the trailer. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. I just installed that gas valve to fix the heat in here. We are cranking it up. Here we go, here we go. It's so cold in the shop. Oh my gosh, it's gonna take forever. 2 hours to 65. That should be a song. 2 hours to 65. It's like some Van Halen or something. It could seriously take days to thaw this thing out. My neighbor here had one of these guys. So I turned the gas on. Let's see what happens. Hopefully this thing works well. Oh, yes. This is awesome. I'm pointing this right at the transmission. This is great. Oh, yes. Wow, the transmission is currently 23 degrees right now. 24, we're moving up. We set this up perfectly. We have direct heat right on the transmission. So things are gonna start happening quick here. I have a feeling we're gonna start to see the Silverado literally melt with water coming out of every single crevice, because check this out. If you look underneath the steering column, I mean, aside from, you know, the frost, you can literally see ice everywhere. With that flood line, that means the dashboard was totally underwater, meaning everything behind her is now frozen and should melt. Man, is it cold in here. I'm gonna open up all these doors. That way we can get some heat inside of here. Oh my gosh, I can just feel the cold coming out. This is crazy. Oh, she is starting to thaw. Yes, yes, she is. Oh, is this frozen in there? Oh yeah, that's frozen. This is great. All right, nickname the Silverado right now. I'm horrible at this. Frozen Auto. We are not gonna waste any time because I wanna pull out these spark plugs and look inside the cylinders, because if water filled the cylinders and then it froze and expanded, it could have cracked the block and then we'd be dead in the water, no pun intended. So we need to look inside this engine and see what we're working with. I had to crawl up in here. We're gonna remove some spark plug wires. Hope they don't break. That's good. Is this dial? Oh, I think that's ice. I think that's ice on the spark plug. Great. Let's get this spark plug out of here. It's threading out real nice. What do we got? What do we got? Oh yeah, that's water. No, it's oily. It's oily and watery. Okay. I mean, I like oil. I mean, normally, no, I wouldn't like oil on a spark plug, but for some reason right now I do. This feels like it'd be more protected. Let's keep going. All right, second spark plug. Oh, that's ice. That is ice inside. Oh no. Oh no. This engine had to have been filled with water. Great, great. Oh, you know what? Can we even check the dipstick here? Oh, there's nothing in here. That's weird. Did they drain it? Yeah, no, there's no oil in the dipstick unless it's just kind of low. All right, let's keep going with these plugs and we'll get the old borescope out and see what's inside. Cannot be good. I think this is our best one yet. There's not that much ice on it. Cool. Last one on this bank. It's pretty good. Look at that. We got water coming out of the transmission. I wonder if this entire exhaust is filled too. Before we get to the other bank, I want to look inside this throttle body. We'll take a look at the air filter too. It should tell us something. Oh no. Get out of town. There's definitely water in this engine. There are literal ice cubes here. Any water in there? Oh my gosh. It's solid ice. It is solid ice. I don't know why I'm surprised, guys. Like, this engine was definitely fully submerged underwater and it is filled with ice. Oh man, our only saving grace here, our only possibility of this still working once it thaws is if the water didn't expand, crack the cylinder, and if the rings aren't rusted. Actually, if this thing froze immediately after being in the lake, which is doubtful, but if it did, that could have actually saved it, because then it wouldn't have had time to rust or do anything. It would have just been frozen. Into the throttle body we go. And yeah, it's an ice skating rink. Wow, look at the inside of this intake manifold. It's literally a really nice ice skating rink. It's perfectly smooth. I think the Zamboni has recently been in here. Yeah, I must say, this is some really, really nice Wisconsin ice. I don't know, guys. What's your percentage chance we can get this engine to run? From everything you've seen thus far, what do you think? Not gonna lie, right now, I'm gonna give it 20%. Let me know in the comments. I give it 20% that we can get this engine to run one day. We'll see, maybe that percentage will go up throughout this video. Let's take this beauty cover off. Okay, just dropped a screw, whatever. I think we're gonna take the intake off. I mean, not that this engine already didn't have a bunch of water in it, but once this thaws, we're gonna have even more water in there, and this will give us a great look at the valves. I cannot wait to see what's inside. This is so much fun, guys. I mean, I don't recommend you buy a completely submerged vehicle, but you know, if you're willing to gamble and potentially lose your entire investment for some entertainment, then do it. Then do it. Honestly, I couldn't sleep last night. We got this thing yesterday and I left it outside because I got here too late. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to rip into this thing. Actually, the beauty cover stays on to remove the intake manifold. They have little holes, so we don't actually have to remove that. We physically can't remove it right now. So I'm gonna take the intake off here in a second, but I wanna take a look at this air filter. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's frozen. Did anyone see that coming? It's frozen. Yeah, weird. Okay. Any water? Yep. Little lake water in there, I think. Gosh, if anybody around Wisconsin knows the story or maybe has a video on this truck going into the water, I really do think my boat ramp theory is correct. I don't know. Let me know what you think. All right, I'm almost done. There's 10 intake manifold bolts. That was the last one. Okay, I'm just gonna remove this. I couldn't get the hose off. Don't wanna break it. Disconnected all the wiring. Okay, broke the ice. Oh, this thing is heavy. I remember this intake not being the funnest to remove because I did it on my wife's 2015 Escalade to replace it with a supercharger. This beauty cover is just so dumb. Get out of here. And it looks exactly like the intake manifold. All right, shimmy sham. Look at this. The intake comes out, the beauty cover stays. Ridiculous. Get out of here. Oh. Oh, this thing is so heavy. You guys look first. What's it look like, guys? What do we got? Anything? Is there a fish in here? Oh my gosh, this is the heaviest plastic LS or LT intake ever. Let's get this throttle body out of here. Yeah, there it is. totally normal. It's one way to clean an intake. All right, yep, lots of ice, that's for sure. We'll just leave this like that, and hopefully we'll have a pool of water soon. Oh, get out of here, beauty cover. It's like a fake LS intake. LT, whatever, you know what I mean. Here are the cylinder heads. So this engine is direct injected. That's why you don't see a traditional fuel rail, but you do see one of the intake runners completely full of ice. Okay, that valve must be open, so that means the ice is in the engine. Nothing there, ice there, a little bit ice, a little bit ice. Okay, yeah. So this will be a great time to clean the intake valves. They look a little carboned up, so we can take care of that. Just trying to think of the positives. But this is what I'm afraid of the most, the rust. And well, okay, that one's an ice cube. Yeah, that one's slightly open. Closed with ice, ice. Yeah, this one was open too. So you're basically gonna have 2 out of 6 intake valves open at any given point in time. So 6 of them, you know, would kind of be protected potentially without any water inside the cylinder. It's gonna be those 2 that don't have the big ice cubes that I'm worried about. So we just gotta keep letting it thaw. Second cylinder on the driver's side bank does not have the ice cube, meaning water went through. So let's borescope that cylinder first. This piston is all the way up and it's ice. So, okay, can't get the best view in the world, but there we go. There's our piston. All right, we're just gonna go to the cylinder right in front of it, the first one. Wow, okay, well, that's a good sign. Cross hatching, no rust yet. I like it. Guys, what is this? Is that the crank? Is there like a big hole in the piston? And are we looking, no, hold on a second. Is that water? Is that water? This is an optical illusion? If I blow some air in there, we'll get a wave. And that wave should tell us whether or not we have a hole in the piston. Yeah, this is really scary though, guys. Are we done? Are we dead in the water right now? Dead in the water is just gonna come up a lot in this video. I don't know what to say. I use that term all the time. Hey, instead of blowing air, I'm just gonna, oh, that is totally water. Look at this, we are making waves in there. I mean, like an ant on a little like popsicle stick could go surfing inside of the cylinders. I mean, I look kind of dumb here, but I don't care. We don't have a hole in the piston. That looked so weird at first. Like my heart started pounding. I'm like, we're done, guys, we're done. If this engine's done, we're done. But if this engine is intact, we have a glimmer of hope of getting the Silverado going again. And we got a wave. We got a good wave. I pulled out the passenger side spark plugs. They look a lot better than the driver's side, surprisingly. And I've borescoped every cylinder, and yeah, a few of them just look like this, where there's a block of ice blocking everything, and some of them have water, so yeah. So at this point, we have to wait for that to melt, then we will evacuate the water from the cylinder, and then we're gonna build a special concoction of awesomeness that hopefully will free up the piston rings, because they're no doubt kind of rusted into the block. So you never wanna crank an engine like this, because if they are frozen, you're gonna rip the rings off, and then you are dead in the water, and you could have saved your flooded Silverado engine. All right, let's see what we got here on the old transmission. Ooh, 71 on this side. That's pretty good. All right, cool. I'm gonna keep going because that just might be the temperature at the bottom. It still might be ice up top. So yeah, we'll keep the fireball on there. I must say the coolant looks great. That's a completely sealed system. But something else that is mostly sealed is the battery. So obviously this thing is dead. And we cannot send power through this car right now because we don't know what is shorted out. Modules could have shorted together. It could be dangerous, like airbags could blow off. So anyway, we're gonna take the battery out so I can charge it. I wonder, you know, during this project if we can revive this battery. Crossbar coming out. Oh, that's interesting. It says not to pressure wash this area, but it doesn't say anything about it being completely submerged in a lake. If they didn't want you to do that, there'd be a picture of a Silverado in a lake with a boat hooked up to the trailer hitch and a guy calling his insurance company. Not that it matters, but disconnect your negative first. And the positive. Let's swing this thing out of the way. Reminds me, transmission fluid dipstick. Oh, we can take it out. It was frozen before. Yes, yes. Ooh, it's toasty. All right. Oh! Look at that. We have nice red transmission fluid. Fantastic. I looked at the Carfax. This thing was dealer maintained, one owner, 55,000 miles. I mean, they did everything. There's a good chance they did a transmission fluid flush recently. Not that it matters a whole lot if you fill it with water, but I mean, it's good to see, guys. I don't know. I'm trying to get a win any way I can right now, and red transmission fluid is my win. Actually, thinking about it, our special concoction for the engine could be partially the transmission fluid. Yeah, we will recycle the flooded goodness to save the engine. This battery is definitely frozen. Let's get it out of here. It's so hard to do anything in this position. They don't make the battery easy. Or the spark plugs. The handle's broken, of course. Dude, with the coolant tank here, it's like, you really have to take the coolant tank out to do the battery on one of these? I mean, seriously, this is insane. I think I can weasel it this way. This is a horrible spot, GM, horrible spot. You know what would have been a better spot? Over there. Look at this, look at this.
Would you look at this?
That's a spot for a battery too. I mean, I think it literally is. On some models, maybe like the diesels have two or something. I don't know what the deal is, but that's a battery tray. All right, it's a nice one. It's wide open. Frozen. Look at this, our ice cube has melted. Sweet, this is great. Get out, going fishing. Okay, whatever. I can't get that out. I'll just continue to let it melt. Speaking of fishing though, look at all these stickers here. Boat access permit expires 3/31/25. It's currently January of 25, so this had a current lake access permit. It definitely continues to go along with my idea that this thing was flooded in a lake. And I think it was because of a boat. I keep on finding things to check as I almost fall off. This is how I'm working, by the way. I'm definitely getting my stretches in today, but we have the engine computer right here. What's good about this is that it's in kind of an open area, so you'd think they'd make it pretty weatherproof. Let's pull these connectors. Come on. Let's see, any corrosion? See a little drip of water, but wow, that looks great. That looks really great. And what gives us a chance with this car is the fact that modern cars have really good weather pack connectors. They all have seals. If this was an older car, not only would the interior have absorbed all the moisture, they used cardboard and stuff like that, it would have been trash, but water would have definitely gotten into every single harness and if there were modules and relay boxes. Not saying this didn't, but we have a better chance at it. Here's inside of that connector and it looks clean, guys. We'll keep going. This computer actually pretty easily comes out, just a couple clips. All right. Oh, yes. Yes, it's perfect. At least the connectors are, but yeah, I mean, these are really nicely sealed up. We could be in good shape, guys. Actually, I don't even know if you can separate this. Another win. We're getting a couple wins in a row. This is great. Oh man, I think our engine computer's gonna be good. The harness so far looks great too. We can see a ton of the pins for the engine harness and they're perfect. All of these. That is huge, huge, people. What do we got here? Oh, beautiful. Yes, let's keep this party going. Oh, this will be a big one. All the fuses and stuff. If this was soaked, well, no, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, well, no, right away. Okay, yeah, taking an L here. Jeez. This is why we can't put any power to this truck just yet. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff's gonna be wet. That's not good. Okay, can't win them all. That one's clean though. Sweet. Not all the relays are that bad, really, though. It's mostly that one. Okay, that one too. Look at this. This is so nice. I just undid these levers and I think this will come straight up. Can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I'm actually hot right now. I'm like sweating. It's 65 in the shop. The heater actually turned off. I've been cycling the torpedo there because the audio get ruined in the video, but anyway, there we go. Nice. Okay, we got green fuzz. I'm honestly not too concerned about this. We can like just buy one of these used probably off eBay. It's these pins here because this will be, you know, part of the whole engine and body harness. We can definitely clean these. I mean, there's some stuff going on here, but I don't think this is bad at all. Just a power lug, very easily removable part. Sweet. I'll take it. Intake's getting there. We got a puddle of water. Sweet. It's time to try and get the Silverado off of the trailer. I have to get underneath there and I don't want to die. So we have the winch cable hooked up to the rear end. Parking brake depressed. Wood chalked. Now, the moment of truth. Will the key turn? It was completely frozen before. Seriously lucky I even have this key, to be honest with you. Let's see. We need this to turn because right now, that is locked. Come on, baby. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Little jiggle. Oh, yes. The key turns. Oh, the tumbler was totally frozen before. Let's see. Oh, we have steering, yes. And guys, I can't tell you how awesome this truck is. It is really loaded up. Trailer brake, Z71. So that's like the off-road package. And because it's an LTZ, it has heated and air-conditioned seats, Bose audio. It's got it all. Ooh, and our ice is thawing in the cup holder. Sweet. Oh gosh, is this radio gonna work? There's no chance, right? That thing was just filled to the brim with water. There's no way. Oh, this comes out. Oh, more ice. Cool. All right, make a little pile of ice. Oh my gosh, I got my ice pick in here. God, this one is huge. Is this with the Titanic kit? Oh my gosh, look at how deep this goes. What? This is insane. Get out. Yes, I gotcha. Oh my God. I mean, we might have like a fish frozen in here. It could be alive still. This looks really cool. Look at that. Huh. You know, it's gonna be winter here in Chicago for a long time. I'm gonna leave this outside and we'll just see how long it lasts. We'll put it right there. Throughout the Silverado video series, we will check on our ice. And these out there too. Oh, one's breaking apart. Weak ice. There you go. Okay, that's not coming out yet. Oh, more and money. Yes. I'm glad I got this out because it could be seeping through those bolt holes unless it's perfectly sealed. Gosh, that'd be great too. My shop vac is full and I'm too lazy to go clean it out right now. I'm just gonna stick this rag in here to soak this all up while we get this guy off the trailer. And yeah, these are still totally frozen. Oh, yeah. All right, I reconnected the shifter linkage. Normally you need power, you gotta hit the brake for the shifter to work, but we have steering. Okay, we can turn this and the brake's gonna do nothing but, oh yes, we can do this. And yeah, this should be now neutral. Neutral and steering? I mean, what more can a guy ask for from his Silverado? I'm gonna let out the winch now. Oh, it's moving. We're just gonna use the winch to let this kind of roll off a little bit. Yes, I was worried the differentials might be full of ice and then frozen, which they could have been, but you know, maybe they thawed. Yeah, she rolls. Woo, like a rock. I don't know, I just like fist bumped my Silverado, that was weird. We're gonna pull this a little bit to give us some more room. My CL65 is totally dead. New problem with that, I think mice got to it outside, so whatever. Cool, have to help it along a little bit. We're good to go, guys. This thing's gonna be on the rack soon. It's crazy. My shop is super narrow, so moving this thing around is difficult, but I just got these from Harbor Freight, and check this out. All you do is jack it up with your foot. All right, so that's off. Sweet, we can move this thing around now. So now we can drift our Silverado around the shop. Oh yeah, this is great. We got the Silverado straightened up, ready to go back, and there's a rack for these two. This is too cool. Favorite shop equipment or tool at the moment? This is great. All of our water is melted, and let's suck it out. I'm just using our little brake bleeder. Oh yeah, look at that, sweet. All right, not bad. I'm gonna blow the water out of the cylinders. Woo. Oh, that's nasty. Look at that, what in the world? It's kind of oily. I don't know why it's oily like that. It's kind of good. Maybe it protected the cylinder and the rings, but also why is there oil? I don't know, and there's no oil on the dipstick either. Here's what we pulled out from on top of the valves. It's all water. Looks pretty clean though. You know we gotta bore a scope in here and take a look at the rocker arms, because if water got in here and all the lifters and everything are rusted, we're in bad shape. But wow, that looks fantastic. No way. I don't see any issues in here at all, considering there's no engine oil. That's crazy. Wow, look at that. Yeah, we can see all the way down. Nothing is rusty. That is perfect. Something else that might be in good condition is the brake fluid, because that is also pretty well sealed. And yeah, I mean, we'll definitely do a brake fluid flush, but that looks just kind of like normal old brake fluid. No one really changes their brake fluid anymore, which you should, but I think we're okay. Oh, but hang on, I have this brake fluid tester, and it literally tests for moisture. So we stick it in. 1.4, 1.3. Wow, that's actually really good. It's still green. All right. It keeps going down. Okay, no, 1.2, 1.1. Okay, this is actually reading better than most normal cars that aren't underwater. That's great. This is fully sealed. The coolant looks fantastic, and this is another system that's really sealed up, so I don't expect any issues here. Okay, so this pressure. Yeah, it looks great. Brand new coolant probably. It's funny, the one system that I'd be okay with clean lake water getting into has no lake water. You know, sometimes you just need a little lake water. You wanna know something else that's weird? Where's all the water inside of the headlights and the fog lights? Sometimes these will get all cloudy just from normal condensation, and they are mint. This side too, I mean, just no sign of water whatsoever. You know, unless the front end was up on the boat ramp, but we see all the water in the engine. This had to have gotten super wet. I mean, I know headlights are sealed, but still, if it was underwater, God, you'd think there'd be a sign. With all the water out, we're gonna mix up a concoction of transmission fluid, about 50-50, and then we're gonna mix it with acetone. So a lot of people have said that this is the best penetrating oil. There have been many tests done, and I believe it. It works well. So hopefully this saves our engine. Mix it up. 100-year-old oil can I found buried in my backyard when we were resodding. Still works. All right, so I have a hose hooked up here, and we're just gonna pump this in everywhere. There's our concoction going in. Oh, drink up, buddy. And then we're gonna stick it through the spark plug hole. Pump it, pump it, pump it. There we go, and we'll keep going. All 8. She's a V8, baby. We're all done. This engine is filled to the brim. All of the intake valves, all of the cylinders have a ton of our special transmission fluid and acetone concoction. So we're gonna let that kind of do its thing for at least 24 hours, maybe more. It's better to wait. I've resurrected engines that look way worse than this, so fingers crossed, but now we have to get underneath the truck and drain a bunch of fluids because we're kind of not out of the water yet. Jeez, I mean, there's just, I can't help myself. It's a flood car. Here we go, here we go. We're gonna check out the underneath. I can see a little on the trailer, and this thing looked clean. Yeah, there's a lot of engine oil and a mixture of my concoction there. And we got water, we got water. This interior is thawing out like crazy right now. It's like 70 degrees in the shop. This thing's gonna reek in there. Hang on, before we continue, I have to let you guys know about the latest product at legitstreetcars.com. I teased this on Instagram and Facebook, and the orders are flying in, so thank you so much. But here it is, the Legit Street Cars Ultra Pen Light. And I could go on for hours talking about how I've spent the last 2 years of my life testing lights in the shop and working with this manufacturer to make sure that every little aspect of this light is perfect and that it's the last pen light you guys will ever need. But instead of getting all into that, I'm just gonna show you what this bad boy can do. We're going dark in the shop so I can show you what this thing can do. So it has an ultra bright spotlight. I mean, this thing just, it speaks for itself. Now, this also has a super bright floodlight. Look at this thing. Don't want to blind you there. Here's what the light looks like outside in the dark, out in the open. So this isn't just for mechanics. You can use this for camping. And look at how nicely the floodlight just brightens up everything. I mean, it is pitch black out right now. Not anymore. And I designed this pen light to have two very convenient magnet locations. So this not only clips on to your shirt, but it'll also clip on to, well, anything that's magnetic and brighten up whatever you're working on. The bottom of the pen light has a magnet too, so you can adjust your light. It'll stay where you need it to stay. You can also measure things like bolts and pieces of metal that you're working on in inches and in centimeters. If you hold down the button, you are gonna get a blue light. So this will check for oil leaks, AC leaks, and well, anything else that blue lights check for. This is one of the only ones on the market that has that as well. My pen light fits your fingers perfectly, and the button is right here. And again, the light is just super, super strong. And for you detailers, this has a CRI 95 color accuracy rating, so you can use this when you're detailing cars to see the difference in a panel color. It's also super impact resistant and durable. We use a very high-powered lithium-ion battery, and we just use a normal USB-C plug, which everybody has. And I've tested dozens of flashlights on the market. I mean, look at the price tags on some of these guys that do basically nothing. No magnets, one light, no floodlight, no blue light. This is the last pen light you guys will ever need, and I appreciate every single one of your orders. Oh, and speaking of orders, everything is fulfilled here, Max and my wife fulfill all of the orders. So we got a couple pen lights going out right now. They make an excellent gift. And this person bought a gigantic drying towel and a foam cannon, but check out the link down below, and I cannot wait for you guys to get your very own Ultra pen light. All right, let's see what a Silverado that's been underwater looks like from the bottom. The first thing I noticed here is that they swapped out the shocks. These are the Rancho shocks, and this is a Z71 off-road, so it would have had better shocks from the factory, but they replaced them, unless that's stock, but I do not think they were going with Ranchos from GM. I mean, the brakes aren't frozen. This thing rolled beautifully. Rears too, backing plates look good. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty clean truck. I got a lot of oil here, but that could be from me putting all that stuff in the cylinders, everything leaking down. This exhaust has got to be filled with water, right? Oh yeah, I mean, we got some coming out. Oh yeah, you can hear it. Oh man, this exhaust is filled. Oh, you know what? I haven't really even thought about the gas tank. So here's the gas tank. Obviously this was completely submerged, but these are very well sealed. So it's possible no water got in here. We'll definitely have to figure out if there's water in there, but let's see, this ABS connector. Oh, look at that, that's mint. Obviously this was designed to get wet though, seeing as how it's at the very bottom. But yeah, this has a little bit of surface rust. This is nothing, it's just where the undercoating went away. Two people in the South, you'll be like, this thing is totaled. It is not, it is perfect. For being a Midwest vehicle, this is really, really nice. You guys know, look at this. Look at the floors, look at the pinch welds. It is super, super clean. It got a little bit of a bath, that's for sure. I mean, diffs are spinning good. Looks like we have some more modules and some wiring under here. Obviously, lots of connectors for the parking sensors and lights. This is crazy. Look at all the modules. We have that one, and this big guy in here. Considering this thing was flooded all the way to the top of the vehicle, I'm actually happy that they're here because GM would have made them more waterproof being underneath the vehicle. And if they were inside the cab, it got filled to the brim anyway. So they make stuff less waterproof when it's in there because, you know, you're not supposed to have water in there. Let's pull some plugs. This could be really good. So I looked it up. This is the trailer brake module. What do we got? Shiny, shiny goodness. Yeah, we're good. Doesn't mean it didn't get inside, but it's a good sign. I have no idea what this one is, but it's got a million connectors. And I just pulled this one. More of the same, guys, more of the same. These are all gonna look good, I think. This one's pretty important. It's the traction control and suspension control module or something, according to the internet. Yes. Yes. Guys, I'm upping my percentage here on this whole project. I shouldn't say that right before draining the oil. I'm gonna knock on this tire, but I'm giving this thing a 32.3% chance of running. Driving, I don't know, the transmission was frozen, but yeah. Has your percentage gone up or down? Moment of truth here. Lots of moments of truth. Oh, I can already see it. Oh, geez. Oh no. There we go. Oh, no. It is super clean. Like you could drink this water, you dare me? It is super clean water. Like, what in the world? This is like filtered. What? Are we gonna get any oil at all, ever? Okay, now, maybe a little. Jeez. What happened to all the engine oil? I don't get it, because if they would have drained the engine oil, it would have been after it went into the lake or whatever happened to it. There's nothing. Like, there's no engine oil whatsoever. That makes no sense. Was this an insurance fraud? Like, did they drain the engine oil and then throw it in a lake? What did they think, the lake wasn't gonna total it, so damaging the engine would? This is crazy, guys. Please explain to me where you think the engine oil went. I have no idea. I have no theories. All right, we're removing the oil pan, guys. I can't help myself. I gotta see what's inside. All right, big splash shield. Oh, you can see a lot in here too. Wow, this was such a nice truck. Oh my gosh. We have an AC compressor. Oh, come on, this still spins? That's insane. That is great. All right, this is all gonna be fine. We've looked at enough wiring. That's all gonna be good. If the fan was submerged, you'd think this would be frozen. No, it's perfect. It's just so weird. Looks really easy to remove this oil pan. A couple cross braces. Oh, there's water coming out of the bolt. What in the world? Okay, I got all the bolts out. Pry this thing out of the way. There we go. Oh, for sure water would come out of there. Okay, cross member out. Just have a bunch of 10s. Does anyone work for an insurance company out there? Would they have drained the oil for some kind of inspection? And then the water that we just saw was the ice that was, you know, in the intake and stuff. It's possible. I mean, you'd think if this thing was like underwater with that flood line, why would they even bother draining the oil? It's like, what do they expect to see? There's no way that determined whether it was totaled or not. This was an insta-total. Pretty easy. What do we got? Oh my God, I'm like freaking out right now. Okay, there's no hard chunks. Yeah, I mean, to be expected, right? All right, well, I figured out where our engine oil went. Look at that. This oil pan is totally cracked. So you have your lower little oil pan that we just removed, and then this is the main oil pan. It is cast aluminum, and water would have sank. It's literally pouring out right now. The water would have sank, the oil would have stayed on top. So it got flooded, it sat outside in the cold, it cracked, it froze, and then it cracked the pan. You can see it, it goes all the way over here. So that is where our engine oil went, all over the ground, probably in an auction lot. This pickup screen is a little suspect as well. The ice probably expanded this out and broke it. Not the end of the world. Yeah, this engine definitely needs a new oil pan. I've looked around the transmission, nothing's cracked there. I think the bottom of the pan was just frozen. Man, the diff's gotta come out. Maybe the electronic power steering rack has to come out. I'm not sure. This is kind of a big job. All right, it's the next day. I was gonna order the oil pan, but I decided that we should probably see if this engine spins. So the concoction's been brewing in there overnight. Here we go, people. Here we go. Now, I'm not gonna give this a lot of force. It's got no plugs. It should be easy if it's gonna go. Oh, that's really easy. Oh, yes. Are you kidding me? Oh, yes. It spins. Oh, yeah. Got a lot of our concoction coming out. It spins great, guys. Oh, look at this. Okay, we still, I guess, had some water in there. Yeah, okay. I swear I blew that all out. Where's this clean water coming from, guys? I literally took 150 PSI air pressure into each cylinder. Whatever, it's all coming out now. And this thing is spinning with no issues whatsoever. All right, I think I've gotten everything out. So I'm definitely going to refill everything with our concoction and let it soak while we work. But I am ordering an oil pan. This is awesome news. We got all of the clean connectors. I mean, obviously we still have an insane amount of work to do. You know, like removing the entire interior. We have to run an ozone machine in there. I'll show you guys. It's gonna kill everything that is most likely alive, you know, from all the lake water, which apparently is perfect, clean water. I don't know. But anyway, this thing spins. We're gonna do an oil pan. I'm so excited. I can't, we gotta drain the transmission. We gotta take a look in the fuel tank. What else? The differentials, I don't know. There's so much, but I'm pumped, guys. It is possible that we can get the Frozen Auto back on the road again and driving. I think that's as good of a name as any. Now at this point, I'm giving the Frozen Auto a 42% chance of running, but only a 20% chance of driving because this transmission was literally frozen, and who knows what that does to the inside of a transmission. Here we go. Oh, jeez. Oh. Okay. Didn't see that coming, guys, obviously. Wow. Tastes like transmission fluid. A little bit of lake water. I left a bolt in. I didn't think it was just gonna separate that quickly. Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna say there's definitely some water in there. I mean, we know it was frozen. That was just, man, that was a lot. That was a lot. I gotta say though, it looks clean. That's good. Let's just keep going with this madness. Hopefully we don't have to remove this exhaust. I think we'll be all right. Oh man, that was a lot of fluid. That was a way to just rip the Band-Aid off. I'm not taking this exhaust out. Oh, there we go. Okay. Man, this fluid looks great, guys. This is, I wonder if they just serviced this thing. Looking at the Carfax, it was only at the dealership. So water sinks, and that's a good thing. So the water is gonna go to the bottom, the oil is gonna be on top, and we can definitely see that. So we might have just had a really thin kind of sheet of ice at the very, very bottom. And that's great, because if the clutch packs weren't full of water, that's kind of what I was afraid of. If the clutch packs were full of water and expanded, there's tight tolerances in there, and they could have just snapped them. Not saying that it didn't happen, but yeah, I mean, this is definitely water. Oh yeah, look at it. It's even like super clean at the bottom. All right, cool. Let's take a look. We got a filter. This would have been filled with water probably, and I don't see any cracks in it, so that's great. If the plastic didn't crack, we're good. I mean, you guys saw what it did to the engine oil pan aluminum. It totally cracked it, so I think we're gonna be good. I'll keep looking. So if you guys remember, I couldn't move this shifter. It was totally frozen, and this is what it connects to down here. So this probably had some ice on it. I'm glad I didn't force it because we would have broke it, but everything looks really nice. All this plastic stuff probably would have cracked if it was filled with water and ice and expanding, so I don't know. I'm up in the percentage on the trans shifting, and that's the control unit too. It's inside of the transmission with all the fluid and everything, so we don't really have to worry about the electronics there. I'm saying 53.89% chance, remainder 4, of this transmission working. So let me know in the comments. We're doing this in this series. Let me know where you guys are at right now. We got an engine that spins, a trans that looks like that. What do you think? What do you think percentage chances that this thing drives down the road? All right, we're going back together with a new filter, and I'm just gonna button this all up and we're gonna move on. I wiped the trans pan clean. I mean, it was basically already clean. So we'll get our new gasket on there. We'll slide this guy back in. Okay. Get in, shimmy. I cleaned this, but I like to give it one last pass before we zip it up with a nice microfiber. Do you guys remember the days before microfibers existed and all you had were those red rags, those shop rags that are the worst rags ever and they leave lint everywhere? These are the best, but there was that weird time. There was like a few years when these first came out that they were too nice to ruin in the shop. What was going on at that time? Like we probably had world peace or something at that moment. Everything went downhill when we started using these bad boys as rags, but they just work so great. We could probably link World Wars with that weird time where we were not using these as shop rags and just everybody got happier. And we just said, you know what? They're not that expensive. Just start using them and they're gonna work great. And just, gosh, they're the best. That's back on. I'll give it a little torque ski. We'll fill it up later. I wanna drain some of this other stuff like the transfer case and the differentials. What else do we have to drain? Gas at some point? And last one. All right, trans is torqued. Wait a minute, what is inside of here? Let's take a look. Yep, there's the flywheel. Honestly, God, I've seen normal cars that just sit around for a while look like that, and it's not bad. Let's drain the differentials. So these usually have breathers on them, so water definitely would have gone in with that flood line. We should know it would be at the bottom. Oh yeah, oh geez, there we go. Oh, wow. I'm glad I did that. Come on, is there not gonna be any oil? Okay, there's some oil. All right, cool. It's definitely a weird color. I've never seen diff fluid be gray like that, but then again, I've never bought a lake flooded car. You know, I don't know. People that have, is that normal? We definitely gotta drain the rear too and the transfer case. I'm just gonna assume it all has it. This does have electronic power steering, so hopefully water didn't get in there. That would stink. That thing's probably expensive. Next is the transfer case. Place your bets down below, water or no water. I'm gonna go with water. Yeah, it's water. Oh yeah, it's a lot of water. Jeez. It's just amazing how fresh and clean this water is. It seriously, it just tastes like regular water. I don't recommend you do what I just did, but it tastes just like regular clean water. All right, here's our transfer case fluid. Pretty sure this is just regular trans fluid. Doesn't look as clean as the trans, so maybe they didn't just service it, but this looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put these drain plugs back in, sealed and everything. We got all the water out, we're good. Click. Unfortunately, we don't have a drain for the rear diff. So we just have to take the cover off. Pain in the butt. Oh wow, I haven't even tried to separate this yet and water's coming out. Woo! That's pretty. Wow. This is very satisfying, let me tell you. Okay. Yeah, see, there's a lot of room to expand here, so I think that's why, you know, these aren't cracked. What is going on here, though? Oh, wait a minute. This is a locking diff, isn't it? Wow, this is really cool, guys. I've never seen the inside of this style limited slip differential, but I think that came in the Z71. This is so cool. Everything looks really nice and intact. Oh, this is beautiful. I could just stare at this forever. All right, I'm gonna take like a 10-minute break and just do this. This is great. I'm just kidding. We're good to put the cover back on, and what's nice, there's a gasket, so we don't have to clean up a ton of our TV. Wait a minute, I spoke too soon, guys. We got chunks of stuff. Oh no, that's metal. Oh, this is a magnet. This is the magnet. It like broke, look. Huh, hopefully this is just the magnet that broke. Okay, yeah, that's it. I think it's just a magnet. Yeah, guys, the magnet broke apart. So maybe water filled the little hole because this is right at the bottom and it just expanded out and destroyed the magnet. But yeah, these are all pieces of magnet, even the little ones, see? So that's good. Okay, got lucky there. That was a little scary for sure. But yeah, these are all little pieces of magnet. All right, we're running this thing. It looks good otherwise. I cleaned up the gasket. It is reusable, so we're gonna go for it here. Slide this guy back on. All right, diff bolts are tight. Clean this off, and I'm not gonna put any fluid in this, or in this, or in this until we get a little bit further in this video. I just don't wanna put any money into this until we know, or we have a better idea if this thing is gonna be worth it. Because with any flood car, you gotta go into it thinking that this might just be a part out. Like it's, especially saltwater, most of those are simply part outs. You can't trust them later on down the road, even if they do run. You know, if there's salt in the wiring loom and all that, it's gonna have little electrical gremlins forever. So yeah, I just wanna get a little further with this guy. Now, something that's gonna determine a lot of where this project goes is if the engine is good. We still don't know 100%. And we have this cracked oil pan, so it is possible water can get into the cylinder and crack that as well. We gotta replace this, so let's take it off and take a look at the bottom end. So first step to removing and replacing this cracked oil pan is going to be removing the electronic power steering rack and then the entire differential, and then it'll have a lot of room to come out. Lots of connectors here on the electronic power steering rack. This is the big one. These should be very weather sealed though. Now we have a few massive bolts to remove this. That is big, look at that. That's for sure. It's clean though. Next we have the steering shaft. And this bolt right here, it's an 11mm head, like all steering shaft bolts. I don't understand that. That's one weird common denominator thing I found with cars, is that most of them use an 11mm head. I don't know, guys, what's the deal? Do you know? All right, steering shaft is disconnected. Get these tie rods out here too. Ooh. That was nice, it popped, but then the nut gets stuck. Okay, I'll take it though. Sometimes it's a pain to get these to pop up. Make life easier, we're gonna heat this up and we'll melt the nylon out. It's oozing out. Woo! Get out of here. I think there's water in there too. I don't know. Then you can hold the 21 and tighten this, it's a 10. And it'll come right off. This should be it. I have one more bolt here hanging on by a thread, literally. There we go. There she is. Get these tie rods out. She's hefty. No tie rod would be nice. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. There we go. All right, let's get some front drive shaft bolts out. 11s for the win. Nice and clean. And we'll flip this around. Little shimmy and we're good. All right, let's kind of leave that over yonder for now. Let's get some axle bolts next. Spin it around. These are pretty easy, and we could leave the axles in. Let's see. How much room will we have? This should be good as long as we can go straight down. Next, we have 2 fasteners here, one there and one there. Oh yeah, she's loose. Ow, almost smashed my fingers. This is the easiest diff and steering rack ever. If you guys were around for the GMC Typhoon where I had to remove the oil pan and get the diff out of the way, nightmare, guys, nightmare. I know it was only like 10, 15 minutes in the video, but it took like 4 or 5 hours and it was horrible. This is so easy. Thank you, GM. You learned. The Typhoon taught them. With everything out of the way, we can get a really good look at this oil pan, and yeah, that is cracked pretty good. And a lot of you guys had commented as far as where the oil went. Well, yes, it could have came out of the crack there, but because the oil rises and this thing was potentially fully submerged in a lake, that would mean the oil would have just come out. It was probably in the lake, unfortunately, and then this filled in with water. So yeah, lots of theories going on. I think it's a boating ramp accident. I don't know yet. I don't have any solid info. Now we gotta get some bell housing bolts out. Where the oil cooler lines come in, we got water coming out. Hey, they got a little oil. Cool. We got a brand new filter with the new pan, so we don't even have to take this off, but why not? Hey, oil, yes. Yes, that's what I was hoping to see, I guess. So the oil filter was completely sealed off, and let's see. Yeah, just oil, sweet, good deal. Bunch of 13s holding this guy in, and this should be our last one. Oh, this is RTV'd in, which is abnormal for GM. I mean, normal for this generation though. Woo! All right, there we are. Not bad, please be okay. Please be okay, engine. Ah, okay, dipstick was catching us there. Here she is. What do we got, guys? What do we got? So far, I don't see anything. You guys see anything? I don't see anything. We're kind of just looking at the block right in here. And on this side as well. I want to make sure we don't have a crack here. The very bottom would be the part that would have cracked first, I would think. What is at the bottom of the pistons, though? It's like red. Whoa, it's like a gel or something. I don't even know. That's the, okay, I think this is just like discoloration, actually. It could be some of the stuff we sprayed in, too. Okay, yeah. Is that a broken piston? Is that a ring? Here we go, here we go. This is actually normal, believe it or not. On some pistons, they have a little divot there. And yep, and then there's another one that's normal. So you can see the very bottom of the oiling ring. That is normal. And yeah, this just looks like this red discoloration. It's nothing chunky. But man, look at these cylinder walls. Every one of them looks great. Yeah, this looks fantastic. There's no rust in the cylinders at all. You can see right here, we have a little oil squirter. That's kind of a cool newer feature of these engines. Wow, this looks beautiful. I'll go over each one of them, but they all look really nice. Something else I'm inspecting are the connecting rods to make sure they are perfectly straight and not bent, because if this thing went into the lake and was running, we could have bent a rod, and sometimes the engine will still spin with a slightly bent rod. These are looking good. We got to spin this motor over and just look at everything in action. I just want to be 100% sure this engine's good before we invest, you know, even more money into it. Here she is spinning. Oh yeah. Ugh. Ah! I knew that was gonna happen. I don't know why I was standing right there, but we got all the stuff in the cylinder soaking, and now it's on my face. Great. All right, I'm gonna stand over here now. And I'm just watching everything. We're looking good. Look at this, we got a lot. Ooh, yeah. That's great. Oh yeah, she's spinning good, guys. I don't see any issues whatsoever. If it was fully submerged and the oil, you know, was pushed up, it like kind of lubricated everything. And then we just had that little bit of water at the bottom that cracked the pan. So I was thinking about this too, these cylinders would have expanded from the ice and cracked, which is definitely possible, but there would have been most of the cylinders with closed valves, meaning that the piston rings and the valves were sealing it from water, so water shouldn't get in there. And then the ones that had the valves open would have a lot of room for expansion because it would expand all the way into the intake manifold like you guys saw. So in either scenario, you're kind of in an okay situation. And yeah, I mean, the cylinders look great. I think they were just flushed out with oil. So I'm gonna count this as a win. Oh, and check this out. I stuck a dehumidifier in here. Woo, it's musty. Everything is kind of waking up, that's for sure. Let's turn this off and see how much water we have. Oh, this is a lot heavier than when I put it in. Whew. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? Oh yeah. It's just a few hours. This is awesome. How much to drink this stuff? If you guys saw the first video, you know we're saving some of the Silverado ice. So we'll pour this out right next to it. There you go. Some good old Wisconsin water. So I did order the new oil pan right from GM. It's coming in tomorrow, which is perfect timing because we absolutely have to gut this interior right now. It is completely thawed out at this point. It took forever though. There was always a sheet of ice under the carpet, but it's good and it was getting nasty in there. That's why we did the dehumidifier. The leather in this thing feels great, but it is fantastic. I don't feel any water in the cushions and it hasn't expanded and ruined the leather. That's a big deal. But anyway, now that it's all thawed out, let's pull some stuff up and take a look at our carpets. And yep, I mean, as expected, everything is wet, but look at that beautiful, beautiful blue. I love this color. All the buttons feel really nice. So that's great. Trailer brake action still springs back. I just noticed this, but we're at like 800 RPM at 19 miles an hour when the cluster froze. That's crazy. Something I've been trying to figure out is, was the engine running when it went underwater? I don't know. That's kind of a good sign. That's like perfect. Like it would have been at that RPM roughly at that mile an hour. So maybe. So remember all this stuff was frozen. Now it's just soaking wet. Here's our manual, some fuses. Oh yeah. All right, let's get this stuff out of here. Oh, that's the window sticker. This might be okay. We'll check on this a little later. Oh, but we have all sorts of receipts I'll probably never be able to see. Let's see what we have here. Wow, $52,000 sticker. Let it dry right here on the Eclipse. Oh, wait a minute. This is the 6-speed. I thought this was the 8-speed. My wife's 2015 Escalade has the 6.2. That has the 8-speed. This has the 6-speed. Okay, whatever. That's like a way less problematic transmission than the 8-speed. That's great. Look at this. Auto locking, rear differential, and the Rancho shocks are stock. I had no idea. I can't just simply power up the vehicle and move the seat, so I'm taking out some side bolts. There we go, like that. And this should now, yeah, this will be loose. Cool. All right, not bad. So we get the seat loose. The last thing you want to do is put power because, especially with like an SRS control unit, if it's a block of rust in there, it could blow off the airbag. So we have to verify all all that first. Oh no. There's definitely water inside of these cushions just at the very bottom. Look at that. Gosh, it held up great though. Look at the threads on the seat track. How is that not rusted? That's the fan for the cooled seats. It's dripping water. Great. I've unplugged a lot of connectors under there. Should be able to get this out. Okay. Okay, this thing is a little heavy. Well, it's definitely easier to do with the seat frame not attached to it. Yeah, she's heavier. That's for sure. Oh, beautiful seat. I hope to be sitting in you one day, driving, not just loading it up on a trailer to send back to the auction. I want to drive this one. We got a worm. We got a worm. Yep. She's alive. Just kidding. This is going to be our first interior control unit that we're pulling a plug on. This will tell us a lot. Oh, it's clean. It is very, very clean. And I mean, this definitely would have been super submerged. Man, I mean, there's water in the cluster. Could that be humidity? Did it maybe not hit the dash? That's kind of what I'm most afraid of, is all the stuff in the dash. Well, let's remove this center console. There's a couple of 10s here. I also found this, and I forgot to take a look at it. Is this a camera? Oh, no way. It's binoculars. Cool. I wonder if they still work. Yeah, a little foggy in there, but you know, cool. I'll take it. The headrest is dripping water out of it right now. Great. You know what? It'll be easier to work on the center console with the other seat out of the way. We got to take it out anyway. So here is our passenger side seat. And I was able to get this off with the seat frame. This is just clipped in. There we go. Now we have some massive bolts here. We're not messing around with the center console. There we go. Now it's loose. Sweet. Just pop this out. Ooh, get more electronics. This thing has a 120 outlet here. Couple of these, 3 of these. Here are the 10s we were looking for. Here are all the electrical connectors. Looking good so far. Now we're good. That's the big one. We're clean. We're good. All right, center consoles come out. Oh, here's a subwoofer, I think. Yeah, it says Bose right here. Yeah, I was wondering where this and the amp would be, because yeah, it's definitely underwater. All right, this is an important one. Here is the SRS airbag control module. Definitely gonna take this out and take a really good look at it, but that's clean. Here we are. Oh, looks great. How is this possible? Literally nothing. It's great. Yeah, it's not dripping any water. These interior connectors are weather packed too. You can see the rubber gasket. Great job. GM. I mean, like a rock, but also like a rock at the bottom of a lake. Like it's in great condition. I disconnected the 3 10s for our sub. Oh, yeah, it's full. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and drain this outside. Yeah, there's our little baby sub. There's no amp in here though. This is just the sub. Gotta figure out how to get the water out. Oh, I could just pull the speaker. Honestly, this could have survived. The speaker's probably okay. There's the last screw for the speaker, and they use 1/4-inch heads. So still going standard here. Chevy. There we are. Yeah. Just a little water. We're checking on our block of ice. It's actually warming up here in Chicago. This guy's melting. There we go. All right. Sometimes my neighbors here at the shop look at me funny when I do stuff like that. But what are you gonna do? I have to move this seat around to get to the bolts to actually remove the seat track. So I've rigged up a battery and I pulled the plug on the forward and back seat motor. So if this motor is still good, this should work. Oh yeah. Yes, this motor is good. Woo! Something came to life in my Silverado. Something functions in my Silverado. It is the driver seat motor. I'll take it. This is quite the odd little bunch of parts that I threw right here. You know, engine oil pan, Bose speaker. If you just saw that and had to guess what kind of project I was working on, you probably couldn't. Let's take this door panel off. This looks great, guys. I mean, keep in mind the water line was like, you know, yay big. This is clean. Look at this. This is like a sound detonating material that would have been soaked in water. I mean, it's perfect in here. Even this foam. I mean, what in the world? The speaker definitely has some corrosion. I mean, maybe we just went up to there. I don't know. Oh, we're gonna do the same thing with the window motor. Jump it just like we did with the seat motor. Little battery. Let's see what happens. Oh, no way. It's going up. Haha. Get out of here. That's great, and look at this. Look, that's all the factory lube that they put on the window regulator. This is mint. I love this truck so far. God, I hope this thing runs. Take this off. Look at how nice this paint color is. This is the paint color I would get if I was ordering one of these new. And it kind of looks green in the sunlight and blue. It's like, it's kind of chameleon-esque or aqua, like that. Actually, hang on. It's called Deep Ocean Blue. I'd agree, GM, that is a very deep ocean-y look for sure. And hold on a second, deep ocean, fell in water. It was a lake, but it's kind of fitting. Let's get this carpet out of here. It's actually 2 pieces, which is nice. It'll be easier to handle. Oh man, yeah. Very wet. Okay. It's so heavy.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
God, seriously? It smells fine. It's like clean water. Jeez. This had to have been frozen right after it was pulled out of the lake. That's the only explanation I have for like how nice it smells. Yeah, definitely a lot of standing water. We're gonna have to remove all this padding. This is really, really thick. So on my site, legitstreetcars.com, I sell a gigantic drying towel for the outside of your car, but couldn't really think of a better towel to use for this right now. We could soak all of this up first by hand. We have another fuse box under here. A little scary after finding the one under the hood. Oh, wait, no, okay. Ooh, not a fuse box. Definitely some corrosion here though. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Not horrible. I don't know about the insides of this though, but I don't think we need to do any harnesses, guys. I think we're gonna be okay there. If your power ratchet's ever not doing the trick, you can neutral drop it. Yeah, a little trick of the trade there. Transmissions aren't the only thing you can neutral drop. Seriously, that's not really like a proper thing to do, but we're talking about gigantic nuts that hold in a seat. It's fine. Back seats are coming out. And I didn't want to fold these down before because they were frozen together. You don't want to rip the leather. We should be okay now. Yeah. Wow. I mean, outside of being a little dirty, these are great. Now with the seat out, we can get the back carpet out. Okay, nice, 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 nice. All right, I'll bring this over to the wash bay and let it drip. It's the next day, and we have pretty much the entire interior out. I had the fan on all of this last night, and we ran the dehumidifier. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. But not too surprising. I went around with a gigantic drying towel, and I just dried up everything I could see, and that was really about it. It is getting way too nice in Chicago. This thing is getting smaller. I have all the door panels off and it looks really nice. And the rear speakers have some fuzz. This front speaker and the other one are clean though. I'm still trying to figure out at what angle the water was. I mean, unless the whole thing was just submerged. These are the vents. Kind of looks like ram air intake, Pontiac style. And check out this GM goodness. I ordered the oil pan right from the dealer. This was about $300 and it comes complete. I mean, with an oil filter, the lower pan is already sealed on and we even get the windage tray and the pickup and everything. Try doing that on a Euro car. This is a crazy deal. We've cleaned up all of the RTV. Our crankshaft rods are looking pretty. Look, I mean, look at this. This even looks good. Just a little bit of surface rust, but this is clean. All right, GM used some gray RTV, but I have black RTV in the house, so we'll put this on. It'll seal right up, you know, for the next time it goes into a lake. Can you imagine I get this thing going again and I sell it to another guy who owns a boat and he floods it out too by, you know, falling through ice or backing up too far on a boat ramp, one of the two, because those are the only two possibilities. And then I get it back and I have to do this whole thing over again. Could you imagine? Would you guys watch that? It would just be the same video titles with again at the end. Oil pan going in, GM, I love you for many, many reasons, but why'd you get rid of the gaskets for the oil pan? That was like one of the nicest gaskets ever. Now we have RTV. I'm gonna be all quick about it because the oil's dripping and stuff. Oh, I gotta worry about this stuff smearing everywhere. The gaskets were perfect. Oil pan's in. Just gonna tighten up all these bolts and we'll just go back together, you know, in reverse order. Diff's going back in. Easiest diff in the world. GM, you're so good at stuff like active fuel management, like your 8-speed transmissions and 6-speed transmissions. A lot of guys let me know that they had a lot of issues with those at this era. I thought the 6-speeds were okay, but apparently they had pretty much the same shuttering issues as the 8-speeds. But nonetheless, they made the diff easy. Yes, they did. And you have your 4L60s from back in the day, although one of my Trans Am lived forever and still lives on. What else did GM mess up on this era truck? Active fuel management, the transmission. What else? They're pretty good after that, right? Oh yeah. Lined it up real nice. Can't thread it. No, no, no. There we go. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. All right. Truck is holding the diff in. Get this guy out of the way. U-joints feel great, so they're going right back in. And I have a little blue Loctite on the bolts. And start these by hand, of course. And it's make life easier. Turn it around. Axle bolts did not have any Loctite, but it's just something I always do. Get a little on there. Never going anywhere, buddy. We're married now. We'll plug in our diff. So this has an auto feature where you can run around in 2-wheel drive, but when it senses slip, it applies the front, and that has to do with the transfer case as well. There we go. It's rack time. If this is bad, I'm keeping it for a curling bar. It's perfectly even. Just kidding. I'll have like one really big bicep and one baby little baby bicep. I don't think water got in this. We had nothing in the rack boots, which aren't super sealed up. So I think we're gonna be okay. And this is the steering angle sensor. And I do believe that is very sealed as well. God, I guess we could find out, but I kind of don't want to know. All right, let's go back together. All right, this thing goes over yonder. Maybe I should have done the other side. Not gonna lie, guys, I kind of recommend removing the tie rods, you know, for this job, but being lazy. Never mind, I don't recommend it at all. Just do it this way. It's easy. Whew, need a break. Okay, break's over. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. Don't kill me. Sometimes working on cars and trucks kind of makes you feel a little manlier, doesn't it? Like, I'm not really good at sports or coordinated really at all. Not really all that strong either, but when I work on cars, I'm the man. Tie rod's going in, and these nuts have that nylon on there. So, definitely replace the nuts, or you can just heat up the nylon and reuse it. I officially recommend replacing the nuts though. That is the most proper thing to do, but I've done this for over 20 years and never had an issue. So I'm doing this, but you should do it according to the book. Do I have to say that kind of stuff? Just do the right thing, people. And now we're gonna heat up the nylon in the nut. Like, I see water dripping down. Where is that coming from? That's water. Where are you coming from, water? Come on. Now while it's on fire, bam, she's never moving. Steering shaft bolt. The connector's going in, and we are done. Very nice. I gotta say though, the corrosion protection on the Rancho shocks, not good. Philistines probably wouldn't look like this. Seriously, it ages the vehicle poorly. Like, if this thing runs and drives, I'm gonna treat it with some new shocks. And there's one hidden bolt up here. With our oil pan on and everything buttoned up, it's time for a little bit of AMSOIL engine flush. Drink up, buddy, drink up, you're gonna need it. So this is good to do when you have a lake flooded engine, but also because this does have active fuel management. And a lot of the issues with that cylinder deactivation is oil pressure, not actual engine oil pressure, but the pressure that's going into the system that disperses the oil to collapse the lifters in order to shut down that system. So if there's issues there, the lifter will partially collapse and then everything just kind of goes bad. So you want to keep your oil clean, change it often, especially if you have that active. But for now, we're going to use some cheap auto parts oil because we are going to be changing this eventually if this thing actually runs. Fingers crossed. We got a good old Rural King. This was out of my GMC Typhoon when we picked it up. It should work for what we're doing. We'll get a real battery in if this thing is, you know, really going to function. Come on, Rural King, you can do it. Positive going on. I should probably get a fire extinguisher. Moment of truth, guys. Moment. Oh my gosh. That's normal. That freaked me out. Here we go. There's power going through some of the veins of my frozen auto. We have engine oil. We know this engine spins. It's time to see if it cranks over. Now, we know it won't do it inside with the key. All the electronics are still dead, but this gives me the opportunity to show you guys a really cool tool. It's a relay with a switch, and you can buy these just off Amazon. I bought like a 10-pack of all different kinds of relays, and I don't know, it was like 20 bucks. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is pull the starter relay, and we're gonna replace it with this guy here. We have battery power. We don't need to do anything else but flip this on and see if this engine cranks and how it sounds. Oh geez, should probably get this bar out of the way from hitting the belt, but here we go, guys. Here we go. Woo! Okay, hang on. I gotta take a moment to comprehend the sounds. I think that sounded pretty good. I think it did. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Okay. I don't know, I kind of heard of something going on in there. Could be just the valves opening. We don't have an intake on, so you kind of hear more of that. Let me investigate. Got the borescope hooked up. Let's watch all these valves move. All right, that's good. Moving. That one's moving. Here's one of the back cylinders. Looking good. Yes. We're almost there, people. All right. Cool. Looking good. And last one. Whew. All right, that looks great, guys. Oh yeah, no, this is sounding good. Sounds great. Keep in mind, we have the spark plugs out, and oil has now built up oil pressure, so it's been sitting for a little while. But I think this engine sounds absolutely perfect. So at this point, we have an engine that's alive, almost, and we gotta get some electronics to work inside. So let's get to some electrical diagnosis and see what we can get to light up. I pulled a bunch of the modules out. They're on the table. We're gonna dissect them. I just wanna get the radio out now. And we should just be able to pull this trim out. There we are. I got some corrosion. I'm not worried about the harness. Stuff like this is not sealed. I'd imagine there's some damage in there. Guess we'll find out. Oh, we got a lot of stuff back here. Oh, geez. Oh, man. There are so many modules on newer cars. Like, I already have like 5 or 6 out. This is the stuff that adds up, guys, even if we do have a good engine. Oh, yeah, that is very nicely corroded. We definitely had, I mean, this whole dash was submerged. There's no doubt. Look at this. There's still a CD in here. Oh, man. She ain't looking good. We're definitely putting power on this thing, though, in this video to see what actually lights up. We'll put it back together. I think this upper dash pad just comes off. It just comes off. Just clipped in. Great. There we go. All right, the lower part down. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, a little surface rust. Okay. All right. Should be able to sneak this out. All right. I gotta say, so far, this truck is built very, very well. Seriously. Here is our instrument cluster. I think there's still water in here. Yeah, at the bottom, there's water. 4 screws, and she comes out. Oh yeah, it's dripping. Jeez, what happened to this poor Silverado? Little fuzz. Oh, great, we can unclip this so we can clean out this part of the lens. I don't know if this is gonna matter though. Jeez. Oh, that is fantastic. We can definitely clean the inside of this. We're gonna need a cluster, aren't we? There we go. It wasn't running at all, see? And it had really good oil pressure. Hopefully it did not have a full tank of gas. The engine was not overheating. Battery voltage was perfect. It's fixed. This is the BCM body control module, and we can open it up and see what's inside. Oh no. No! Who saw that coming? Okay, so for all intents and purposes, this is shot, but that's okay because these are like $50 used. They're really, really cheap. This isn't like working on a McLaren P1 or a Rolls-Royce Cullinan or a GT3 RS or anything crazy. I don't know who would do that. This is a Chevy Silverado, people, and you can get these parts for like 50 bucks. So that's probably what we're gonna do, but if you guys have been around the channel for a while, you may remember a video I made on an Alpina B7 that was essentially a flooded car because the back glass was bashed out and the whole trunk filled with water and it had a bunch of modules. So the back glass was busted out, as you can see here. And oh man, that's not good. Oh no. There's probably like 100 modules on this car. Oh my gosh. Ew, that is so gross. I was able to resurrect most of those modules by cleaning them. So we'll try that because in this video, I wanna just kind of turn the key and see what's going on. But worst case, we'll replace it. And here you go. Yeah, surely doesn't look like it'll ever work again. This is the Bose amplifier. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's bad. This is really bad. Let's go ahead and put that back and forget we ever saw it. Let's move on. What is this? This is the transfer case control unit. Yep. This is the SRS control unit that I believe to be sealed, but I'm gonna open it up anyway. I don't plan on flooding my Silverado in a lake again. So if we break the seal here, I'll try my best to reseal it, but it's not super important. But I do wanna know what's inside here. This is an important one. If it's compromised at all, I'm gonna replace it because this could potentially light off an airbag if it shorts out. I don't like that. I don't like airbags blown up in my face. Well, unless I'm in an accident, then thank you, airbags. We'll heat this up. I think there is some glue or a seal in here. Let's see, can we get in here at all? Oh man, we might have to get violent with this guy. I cannot peel this thing off, so we're getting violent, people. Is this the right cutting blade for plastic? Probably not. That seems doing good. Woo! You know this thing's gonna be totally fine. Like the only one I'm literally cutting through is gonna be totally fine, but I gotta know. It's airbags. Like butter. Woo! Watch, I just totally cut through the board. Hey, I didn't cut through it. It actually looks fine, but we can't see like kind of the more important side, but I think this thing was sealed. Yeah, I think this is gonna be okay. There was no water coming out of here at all. We'll just go ahead and put this right back, maybe a little tape, you know, avoid if seal broken. Looks fine. Start cleaning this guy up. So don't use brake cleaner or anything, use electrical contact cleaner. And don't use a wire brush, use a soft bristled brush. Not bad, not bad. It's cleaning up pretty good. Wow, okay. So you're saying there's a chance?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
All right, here's the other side. Be gone, green fuzz. Wow, this is looking great, guys. Here she is, guys, looking great. I was not expecting that. We got rid of all the green fuzz. This side looks fantastic. Here's the back of the instrument cluster, not looking the best. We can try though, but all we can do is try because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. The cluster is not looking the best after the cleaning. Who knows what it looks inside as well. It's such a cool cluster too. You guys wanna see the back of the radio? Oh, woo. She's crispy. You wanna know what's great about all of this? This is every single module added up. There's 3 more behind the radio, but they're roughly $50 to $100 each. So let's just say right now we have $1,000 in modules, but we're replacing like 10 of them. That is really, really cheap. Now we do need to dig into the airbag and a bunch of other stuff, but it's a good start. After a lot of cleaning, we've got most of the modules back in. This guy, that one. The engine computer was in great shape. It's completely sealed, so we'll put this back. We sprayed this out and cleaned it. It turned out pretty well. Got a couple new relays in too. All right, that's it. We're gonna plug in the infotainment screen just honestly for fun. I mean, I gotta replace this. Just wanna see, could this possibly work at all? We'll just leave it right there. Okay. Same thing with the cluster. We'll see what lights up, if anything. All right, it's plugged in. And something I noticed is in the auction pictures, the cluster does look to be lit up, which is crazy to me. Unless it was the lighting of their camera or something, I don't know. Okay, we're not gonna plug in the SRS control unit or the amplifier, that's not needed. I think everything is plugged in right now. Here we go, people. Here we go. I don't know why, but I'm gonna stand away from this airbag. You never know. Oh, first sign of life, we have a dome light. Oh, the wipers. Oh, we get some stuff on the cowl. Hang on. I think they're off. Let's move everything off the cowl. I just cleared everything off the cowl. Oh, they're stuck on. Yeah. Okay. It was raining that day. Oh man. Do we have turn signals? Oh, we do. But we have no cluster. Do we have a radio? No, we have no cluster at all. Come on. No horn. We got dome lights. Those work. It's got a great headliner, I'll tell you that much. The taillights work. I mean, they're stuck on, but they work. And yeah, it doesn't look like these are damaged at all from water. Check this out. We got a soft open tailgate. We have some of the parts drying back here, but I mean, seriously, like they never put anything back here. To be expected, these modules were very, very corroded. And although I was able to save quite a few in the Alpina, those had not been sitting in water for as long as this one. They were in the trunk of that car and I was able to resurrect a lot of them. This car been a little bit different and the modules are made by different companies too. So they might have a different level of protection on the circuit boards and stuff like that. But check this out. When we pull the key out, we do have headlights, which just popped up. Our battery was getting low. So I'm charging that up and more stuff is coming to life. Watch this. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but watch. Hear that? The transfer case is switching right now. So we're on 4-wheel and we'll go back to 2. You can hear the motor working. So that's working. It wasn't working before. So that's great. Stuff is literally coming back to life as we let it dry out. So this is our OBD2 port and these pins are very important and some of them are a little green. I think they're totally intact though. So we're gonna spray them with a little contact cleaner and I'm gonna be using a plastic bristle brush. The battery is disconnected right now. We're just gonna give these a little bit of a clean there, but they weren't bad. Probably function okay. We got that pretty clean, but I'm gonna take it one step further. I'll pull this down, check the back side. Any of the pins that look suspect, I am going to remove. I just depinned this one, and this is for CAN communication, one of the most important. You know, it looks okay, but let's clean it up. Little spray, and we'll brush its teeth all the way around. Once clean, I'm gonna come in with a pick and just push up a little bit on the contact point, and that's gonna tighten the pin. That way, when the spades push in from the OBD plug, they get really good contact. Once you're satisfied, we're just gonna push this pin right back in. It's going to click, it's secure, and then they have a blue slide clip like this. All right, that locks everything in. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with how these are looking, so let's get to testing. Well, our OBD connector definitely works. I mean, it's scanning some things. Surprisingly, the amp, which looks horrible, did not have any codes, but it's communicating with the HVAC parking control module, some stuff that's not super important, but it's not communicating with the engine computer, the trans computer, the suspension modules, and a bunch of stuff that's needed to start the car. Now, a really awesome subscriber that's a GM tech sent me this diagram. This is really important. This is gonna show the CAN communication between modules. This is the high-speed CAN. So modern cars have what's called a CAN system or controller area network, and this is the way that control units talk to each other. And there's a couple different kinds of CAN. There's CAN high, CAN low. Some cars have a medium CAN, and all that has to do with is voltage. So on the high-speed CAN is all the important stuff needed needed for the vehicle to run, like the engine computer, trans computer, and all that kind of good stuff. The instrument cluster on a lot of cars is very important. On some cars, if you disconnect that, it won't start. The diagram that I was sent is everything on the high speed can, everything we need to get this car to run. And so everything starts with the engine computer up top, then the trans computer, the transfer case module, and on this case, the telematics module and the human interface module is all super important. That all leads up to the body control module. Then we have suspension modules. Everything here basically needs to function. So what I need to do now is identify some connectors that have the two CAN wires going to them. They're linked throughout the entire vehicle, and we're gonna test for resistance and kind of rule out any modules that are having CAN communication issues. So let's get the multimeter. All right, guys, here's the game plan. Let me know what you think. This right here is a junction block, which is this guy, and it has a bunch of connectors. This was definitely in water. And I wanna test this junction block, which will also test our trans control unit and our engine control unit if we test at these two wires here going into the transfer case control unit, which is this guy right here. So all these CAN communication wires are blue and white, and you can see those right there, and I double checked in the schematic. That's what we need. So we're gonna pull this out. All right, there we go. And then I broke out my breakout box. We're simply gonna probe these two wires here, blue and white, like that. And well, that's bad. What we're looking for is 120 ohms, so we're checking resistance. So an open in the wiring there or a control unit or junction block is obviously bad. We want it to read 120 ohms because that's the amount of resistance that's supposed to be in that circuit. There are two terminating resistors at both ends. One's actually back there and one is in the engine computer, and they keep this consistent resistance in there so that everything is talking kind of on the same level. So right now, this could be a bad junction block, a bad engine computer, or transmission computer, which the last two I highly doubt are bad. They're totally sealed. One of them's in the transmission. So that junction block is super suspect. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know someone with a very similar truck, my wife's supercharged 2015 Cadillac Escalade. It is the same year. Hey babe, how many hours are you here today?
Like 2 or 3.
How do you feel about your Escalade turning into a parts truck?
Can I still go pick up the kids?
Yeah, once I put it back together. I just need to borrow stuff for, you know, the Chiverado or the Frozenado. I don't know, what's your nickname for this thing?
Frozenado.
Frozenado? It's the Frozenado. I gotta borrow a few parts that were frozen on my truck that you might have for me.
Okay, as long as I can pick up the kids and my car can still drive.
No guarantees. Out she comes again, and yeah, I mean, we tried to clean this up as best as possible, but you never know what's shorted out in there. Here is the junction block in the Escalade under this cover. Get out of here. There she is. All right, let's get this out. All right, here's this part from the Escalade. It looks identical to the Silverado. Junction block from the Escalade is in. Let's see if anything lights up. Keep in mind this cluster's been underwater. Nothing. We're doing a new scan now. Let's see if we can communicate with anything more. Come on, it all starts with that engine computer. Oh, yeah. All right, so gray is no communication. Orange is communication with codes, of course, 15 different codes. This is awesome. We are getting all sorts of communication. Look at that. Sweet, keep communicating. Communication is the key. All right, here are the codes. So we have pretty much everything under the hood disconnected, intake air temp, map sensor, all this kind of good stuff. So these are all normal codes. All right, lost communication with the BCM. Lost communication with the BCM. Lost communication with the BCM. All right, that is very common. There's another one. Okay, I do have a feeling our BCM is bad, and that is kind of the gateway for a lot of the stuff inside the car to work. But I also think that the security system on this car communicates with the BCM. So you turn the key, and there's what's called an immobilizer ring here, and it's connected to this little box here, also underwater. And then I think this gives the BCM the okay to, to start. But we're still not getting this cluster to work. It could be totally fried. But look what just came in the mail. I ordered a bunch of control units, used ones, and I ordered a used cluster, even though we actually cannot really use this at the end of the day. Lots of parts on newer cars are VIN coded, especially the cluster, but this was like $40, and I just want to plug it in to see if it'll help us communicate with other modules on the car. I do have one ordered from the dealer, but it takes a while to come in because it's VIN coded. They have to match the mileage and all that craziness. But anyway, this is cool. Look at this Z71 cluster. It looks mint. Let's go plug it in. We can't communicate with the cluster at all. That thing is shot. Let's get rid of this guy. It's only one plug. There we go. And here's our used and very temporary cluster. We'll plug this in. Oh, look at that. Oh, get out of here. No way. Oh, it's lighting up. I forgot to turn the key back. No way. Look at that. She's alive. The Silverado is alive. We got a cranking engine. We have a cluster. Oh man, let's press some buttons. Hold on. Oh, we got heated steering wheel. That's kind of cool, but let's see. All right, airbag. We're gonna have a lot of issues here. Side detection system, front camera, the tire system, theft deterrent system. Oh, okay, that's it. Not bad. And we can still shift in and out of gears without hitting the brake. That's weird. Whoa, look at this. All right, we already saw info, audio, navigation. Yeah, we don't have a screen. Let's see, settings. Oh, look at this. This guy had 142,000 miles, almost 143. It didn't quite make it to 143. I mean, that's a lot of miles, I guess, for a new car these days. That's pretty bad. All right, we got average fuel economy, blah, 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 oil life. All right, none of this stuff is actually working, but we have a cluster that lights up. I'm just curious, will this crank at all with the key? No, theft deterrent system. It's not right. With the wrong cluster, nothing matches, so it's not gonna crank. That's, you know, it's deterring the theft. So we should have the instrument cluster pop back up, but I wonder if anything else is gonna come up. That's a lot of stuff, guys. All right, I don't honestly remember if that's any more than before, but whatever. Let's do a gauge sweep. Woo! That's pretty cool. All right, look at that. We can light up all the indicators on the dash. Anyway, lots of fun stuff we can do in the computer, but something that I want to check now that we can communicate with the engine control module is oil pressure. We can see that here, not here right now because none of the gauges are actually working. Hey, you want to see something cool?
Sure. Did you get it to work?
Some stuff is working, yes.
Nice.
But there's a big moment of truth, which is, does it have oil pressure? So I need you to hit a little button and we're gonna crank the engine over.
All right.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit this little switch here and we are gonna watch the computer, and then when I tell you to switch it off, switch it off.
Okay. So
The
we're
engine's gonna
turn it
make
on?
noises, yes.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
Is it gonna be loud? Am I gonna get
Nah,
scared?
it's not gonna be loud.
Okay.
Go. Let's see. Look at that, we got like 50 PSI oil pressure, that's awesome. All right, you can turn it off. We have 50 PSI! 50 PSI cold cranking oil pressure with 0-20. That's fantastic. Oh man, this engine's gonna live. Do you want to see the cluster?
Sure.
It's pretty cool. Check this out.
Do I turn it all the way?
Nope. It won't matter, but hang on, just wait a minute. Turn on. Is it done turning on? Huh. Try it again. What is going on, Silverado? Wake up. Try it again. Seriously, it lit up. All right, let's disconnect the battery. This has got to work. Yeah! Came on for a split second. Yay! You see that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it works.
It looks so good too.
I know, this is like a nice truck.
I can't believe this thing was underwater. That does not look like it at all.
Fully underwater. This man, if this thing works, this could be a nice daily.
Oh, I'm excited for you to
Yeah.
get a pickup truck for sure.
Yeah, well, and a nice daily. Because a few days ago, I drove the Jeep home, and we have the Caprice at the house, and the Grand National and the DeLorean, and I had to take the truck, and she had to take one of my cars. And which car did you take?
The Caprice.
The Caprice. And that's not a normal car
No.
for a family to drive around in.
No.
No, it's
not
not.
to take my kids to sports.
She was driving the camming Caprice around. It's pretty cool.
But you took my truck
Yeah.
in an accident.
Yeah.
Without telling me, and then I got stuck with the Caprice. It was a whole thing.
Cut that part. Hey, it starts. It's all back together. You have all of your parts, and I have new parts coming for the Silverado, so thank you.
Sweet.
Yeah?
I'm glad the car started.
Trusty Escalade.
All right. Have a
All
good
right.
day.
See ya. All right, so this has been a part that I have been impatiently waiting for from GM. It's a body control module, and I do think that this is hindering some of the CAN communication. If you guys saw, there were many modules not communicating, and they communicate via a controller area network. So I'm hoping that we can do it with the BCM. So let's plug this thing in. It takes just a few minutes. All right, she's in. This connector is white, right? No, they call it natural. GM says it's natural. It's kind of weird. All right, we got blue, green, all these make sense. They call this pink, although it looks purple to me. I don't know. Is this pink or purple or lavender? Either way, it's getting clicked in. All right, we got a BCM. Now, this does require some coding, which is normally dealer only. You'd have to literally tow your vehicle there if it doesn't start, and it would cost many, many hundreds of dollars, and on a flood car, they might not even work on it. But we may have figured out a hack. So we went to this GM website, and so now for $45 for the next 2 years on just this vehicle, we can code certain modules. So we're just using like a $250 shop laptop here, and then a USB connector to a J2534 programming device. So you can find these on the internet, and that means now we can connect to our OBD2 port, and we'll go key on, connect to vehicle. I had some issues with this, so I used my normal VCMI. Again, you can get this stuff online for cheap if you don't have an Autel system like I do. But here we are connected. And so we're gonna go into body control module. We're gonna select programming. Here we go. Yes, proceed. We're in. Always wanted to say that. Because this read the VIN, it knows all of our RPO codes and options. So we'll hit next, start programming. Bzz, bzz. That's the sound of programming. All right, we are writing the ECU. We got 15 minutes. Hey, you guys remember how the wipers were stuck on? I had pulled the fuse while we worked on everything else, but the fuse is back in and they just went into their rest position. We got some lights working. All sorts of stuff should start working after the BCM is connected. We had no BCM, like no communication. It was fried. And now we have a good one. Oh man, the car's going crazy. Oh, look at this. It's flashing. I think it's doing checks while it programs. Oh, look at this, guys. We have accurate gauges. See that? Before it wasn't reading anything. So the voltage seems accurate. We got dome lights in the back. Oh, it's asking us the odometer reading. Look at this. We have to program the mileage. So I thought that was gonna be for the cluster too. I ordered a new cluster for the truck, and we gave him the mileage, 55225. And we got that off the Carfax right before it had its little accident, so it's accurate. Okay, here we go. So this is not our new cluster just yet. This is the used one that had like 143,000 miles, so that's probably not gonna change. All right, here we go, turn off and turn on. So turn off, turn on. I think we're good. It passed. Yay! Now that this is programmed, let's see what else is communicating, and then let's go press some buttons and see what works. Fault scanner, let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Do we have anything that's, oh my gosh, guys. A lot of the stuff that it's not communicating with, which is great, we just don't have plugged in. Look at that, BCM in the house. All right, let's see what works and doesn't work. So something that was important was before, yeah, nice. This would just go into reverse and drive and everything without you hitting the brake. And now that is fixed. We didn't have a horn. We have a horn. Sounds a little weird, but it was underwater. What do you want? Oh, do we have heated steering wheel? This is like such a great option. Oh man, doesn't work. These buttons could be bad. Darn. All right, but all of this stuff works. Okay, let's see. Do the wipers function properly now? Oh yeah. There we go. Now we turn them off. And they stay off. Sweet. Oh, headlights. We didn't have headlights before. Here we go. Oh, we have headlights. Yes. And high beams. Awesome. Fog lights? Yes. Dude, how did these lights survive? This thing was underwater. Oh, and you want to see something? Look at the headliner. We can kind of see the water line right there. And so, yeah, I think that's how far it got. Although they drew the flood line there, who knows? The insurance guy could have got there after they started pulling it out. But our headliner doesn't look messed up here, which means that my boat ramp theory would make sense. If the line is right there, that means the back was down, picking up the boat, the front end was up. Yeah, that would make perfect sense. But seriously, almost all of this entire truck would have been underwater because we know the water got all the way up to the dash, so it was just on an angle like that. But we are going to revive this thing. It's gonna drive again, I think. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm jinxing myself, knock on Silverado, who knows? So this truck has a rear sliding window in the back. Oh, it works. No way, that is such a cool feature. Oh, nice. I love this thing. There's no way. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. None of this stuff works either, does it? No. We can't communicate with the HVAC either. All right, this stuff's fried. We got a bunch of buttons here. This one turns on the bed light. Oh, we got a bed light. Yes, that is a great feature too. I love this thing. Man, I hope I can drive this as my daily. I'd be honored. Frozen auto. Turn traction control on and off. Yeah, that works. Sweet. Let's see, it's got adjustable pedals. That's not working. Okay. Yes. Don't want to mess up my biohazard sticker, but that works. Other ones don't, but I don't have those door panels plugged in, so that could be it. We got windows. Guys, we got so much stuff. This is great. All right, another moment of truth here. Will this crank? So we have the fuel pump disabled because we don't want that to run. We don't know if there's water in the tank. There probably is. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Yes! We got it to crank. Are you kidding me? This is totally gonna work. Oh my God, I gotta do it again. Yeah. So I noticed that we aren't getting any ignition spark, and we just did an immobilizer relearn because we're getting a bunch of codes for that immobilizer system not communicating properly, especially with the different clusters. So we did that, and now everything is checking out. All the control modules have their VIN coded. It's even showing the right mileage. We'll give this a quick crank, see what we got. Oh, we got spark. The battery's getting low, but we have spark, and I'm sure we have fuel. We have the fuel pump, you know, all that stuff disconnected right now. So, you know what? We have to check for water in the fuel system, and yeah, let's do that. Let's get the fuel system all buttoned up, and then we'll get back to all this. Okay, no water here. It's something. It's water. It's definitely water there. I love these connectors, but also kind of hate them. Oh no. What is that? That looks like water. Water with a little bit of fuel, but mostly water. So this is our charcoal canister, and it actually has a little symbol right here. You can see that. This one goes to the gas tank up here. Oh man, I am hoping that this just got water in it and didn't get in the tank, because that could be bad. We don't know how much fuel is in there. We don't know anything. Let's get this out. All right, that's easy. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, it's fuel and water mixed together for sure. Yeah, mostly water though. Wow, okay. Glad I took this out. How in the world did this not crack? With this much water, you'd think it would have expanded, but it is pretty big. It's, you know, I'm not peeing right now. It's the water, lake water from Frozenado, Silverado, or what we call this thing. Some people said Elsa from Frozen. Tell me you have kids without telling me you have kids. After finding water in the charcoal canister, we have to attack the fuel system, and this is direct injected, which is good and bad. It's a very sealed system, as you can see with all of these stainless metal lines. That is the high pressure fuel pump, and here is our main feed line, which has 2 connection points, one there and one there. So what I'm trying to say is that this is a very sealed system, but if water did get in those direct injectors, we're gonna be in pretty bad shape. Those are super expensive and they will corrode and just be destroyed. It is very important that this system stays sealed and clean. Let's get this one out, see if we can drain our fuel from here. So this is gonna require our special tool. You guys have seen me use this a couple 2-tree times. Here in Chicago, people actually use that expression, couple 2-tree. Yeah, it means, you know, like a couple. Mostly, or 3. All right, we're gonna push that in. Should pop right out. There we go. Okay, so this is the low pressure side, so we will get a little squirt of fuel there. Now, hopefully this is actually fuel on my fingers right now. Oh, it is 1000% fuel. Whew, that is a great sign, guys. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Silverado gods. I don't know who to thank right now. I'm just gonna thank my mom. You're always safe thanking your mom. So what we gotta do now is jump the fuel pump, hope that it works, and hope that we just get a ton of fuel out of here. So I wanna take a fuel sample right now into a little water bottle. So I'm going to chug it now. I don't know if I'm gonna make you guys sit through the whole chug, but yeah. Max, start it up at the end of the chug. Oh yeah. We just turned the ignition on. Cool, that's awesome. I heard some clicking going on here. I really wasn't sure if the fuel pump or anything was gonna work, but we just turned the ignition, so it's recognizing something. That's great. Oh, we're gonna do this a couple more times. Timed out. We'll have to wait. Okay. We tried jumping the relay and it won't work for some reason. I mean, could be that this whole thing is corroded and needs to be replaced, but we just have to wait about a minute in between and then we can prime it. There we go. We'll just fill this guy up and get a good sample. I don't know. It's looking a little dark there at the bottom. Well, this is bad news. It has separated. So that is water at the bottom, dirty lake water, I guess, and that's fuel at the top. So we definitely have water in our gas tank. Now, the kind of good news is that I do not think this engine was running by the time water filled the fuel tank. On the first prime, it didn't look like there was any fuel, indicating that the lines were clear. It was just after 3 or 4 primes that we got a little bit of water. So hopefully that was the first time and it didn't hit the fuel injectors because we had the main feed line off. So anyway, regardless, you know what we gotta do? We gotta drop the fuel tank. We gotta see how much water is in there, drain it out, see if anything's rusted, the whole 9 yards. We've done this before. We've dropped a lot of fuel tanks here, like on the Oldsmobile, Fox Body Mustang in the middle of a parking lot, GMC Typhoon in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, the Jeep Wrangler in order to fit a bigger fuel pump, you know, because you gotta turbocharge your Jeep Wrangler, and many other cars, if you guys have been around for a while. Let's get this beauty cover off. All right, one of them's broken. There she is. How much fuel is in you? How much water's in you? Here's our main feed. We'll pop that out. Oh, there we go. Man, that's fuel, guys. That's fuel. I'm hopeful. That's draining from the rail right now, so that's good. Let's get some assistance here. This might be a very, very heavy fuel tank. I don't know how many gallons this is, but sometimes there's options on pickup trucks, and it's usually, 25 or 35 gallons. It's a lot. Okay, I have 2 straps, 15s. Let's get these out of the way completely. Wow, great job, GM, on coating these things. They're perfect. Number 2. Oh. Great strap system. Oh, it's light, guys. It is so light. Oh, is this guy running on E? That'd be kind of cool. Come on down, little buddy. Let's see what you got. There's our filler, so I did disconnect that from the bed. It's some electrical connectors. One there, that was easy. Got the other one, it was a pain in the butt, but I got it. And here is the filler neck. We're good, guys. I don't think this has that much. I don't know, maybe a half tank. I don't know, we'll find out. I don't know if I can physically do this. Oh no, I'm not that strong. It comes with one handle, but I do not trust this at all. You got a handle? I got a handle, but I'm not gonna use it. All right, oh, that is heavy. Whew. We got Max in the mix. There we go. Whew.
With your back and bend with your back.
Something like that. Yeah, it's just the back does it all, really.
Yeah.
Starting to think there's more than a half tank. Let's find out. There's all sorts of writing on here. I don't know what that means, but let's take this off. All right, these 2 can stay. And we got this ring. There we are. What do we have? We have a fuel sending unit with fuel, and it looks shiny, and nothing looks rusted. That's awesome. And here's our float arm. Be very nice and careful. Just gonna place this right here. Stay. And it looks normal right now, that's for sure. We might have to let it settle though for a bit. Bought this bad boy, it was like, I don't know, 10 bucks. So we'll suck it right from the bottom, and there's a good chance we have like 15 gallons of fuel in here. So we'll turn it on, and this is great, guys. Yeah, that is straight up water at the bottom. Look at that. Wow. All right. I've really stepped it up though, guys. I've, usually just dump fuel tanks out and I get stuff everywhere and it's a big mess. But I stepped it up. We're gonna do this until we start to see fuel. Fuel's gonna start to look yellow. We're probably hitting a little mix of fuel and water right now because it's getting cloudy. I don't know why, but I'm doing this, like I'm extracting it from somewhere. Oh, here we go. Here we go. That looks kind of fuely, but still very watery. All right, let's take a sample. There's some fuel in there. Guys, this is like the best thing I've ever bought. This is great. Here's our first container. You can definitely see the separation at the bottom, but if we light it up with the LSC Ultra Pen Light, you can really see the difference. That's all water. So we're filling up another one right now. And so far, I think that's gonna be a lot less, which makes sense. We're getting all the water off the bottom. Okay, so we went from this to this, basically nothing. I think that is all the water right in this one. I mean, that's usable fuel right there. I'm not gonna risk it on the Silverado, but am I gonna put that in my kid's dirt bike and go-kart? Yeah. Definitely. Well, we got out 20 gallons. I think I'm at the end here. Oh yeah, we're getting it all out. Good to the last drop. Okay, don't want to run this pump dry. We had to move on to another container. But yeah, I'm glad I did because once I tilted this, it was just all water in that one corner. So we are dry. That's great. We can go back together with this tank now. Oh, but you know what we should do? We should empty out our sender because this is all water. Yeah, a lot of water, that's for sure. And okay, cool. Yeah, it looks super clean in there though. We're good. Well, while we got this hole open, I'm gonna pour in some heat and some AMSOIL Performance Improver. They say never to cross streams, but we're gonna see what happens if we cross streams. Here we go. The powers unite. That's about it. We're just gonna put about 5 gallons in here or whatever my container will fit at the gas station. But you could just run the PI. This is a great water remover and antifreeze as well. But powers united. Never cross streams. Ghostbusters. Anyone remember? Not that old. Going back together with our fuel sending unit. Push this guy down like that. Drop our ring down. She's back. Click. Sweet. Click and click. I gotta say, there's some really awesome niceness about modern cars. Like whenever I work on old stuff, this will all be like rusted and corroded, and this is sweet. Good job, new cars. I put 36 gallons in. Just had a little bit of coffee, that's all you need. Just kidding, it's empty. I can manhandle this thing now. She's going up with my pneumatic engine stand. It's foot power, baby. Tank's up, it's strap time. It's nice, modern cars. These were a little rough coming out, so we'll just put a little penetrating oil in there. Bolt still looks good, but if you ever have anything come out like that, just usually dirty threads, maybe a little rust. With the fuel tank done, let's start reassembling our engine. Well, if you guys have been following this series along to check on our ice block, it's gone. It's been really cold here, but it did, I guess, warm up to like 35 for a little bit, but that'll do it, right? Anyway, we gotta get back to putting this engine together, and yeah, the water in the intake. All right, we have reusable gaskets. These are good. I'll do a little cleaning and then this is going back on. Before the intake goes on, we should probably clean up these intake valves. This is a direct injected engine. These aren't too bad, and I've been soaking them in performance improver from Amsoil, so it should be pretty mushy. This carbon is gonna come off like butter. It's not hard anymore, that's great. All right, awesome. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, this is the same exact kit I used on my CDI diesel Mercedes to clean out the injector seats, and we are gonna use it once again for intake valves. And I've done intake valves a bunch of times. We've done walnut blasting, we've done this chemically with the brushes and everything, so I won't spend too much time on this, but we're gonna use some brushes. I just wanna show you how to clean. I'm gonna get one of these. We're just gonna go in by hand with this guy and make sure the valves are closed, and will agitate. You can only clean the ones with the valves closed. Do not do this with the valve open and get a bunch of stuff inside of your cylinders. You don't want that. It'd be like getting a bunch of water in your cylinders and then having it freeze. Who would do that? After using the brush, we're gonna spray some brake clean in here. Now with a rag and some shop air, we're gonna blow some air inside of this one, get all that brake clean out. You can see some of the nastiness. We'll do this a couple times. All right, I've spent about 4 minutes on this and it's looking great. So you can go nuts trying to polish the runner there, but none of that matters. The valve doesn't have any more carbon. It is very, very clean and ready to go. To be honest with you, GM's done a great job with their PCV system on this. So I've seen valves, you know, like on my wife's Cadillac Escalade at 80,000 miles, they weren't even that dirty. This had 55, and the chemicals that we let everything soak in did all the work. So that is great. We are done. I'm gonna move on. We'll clean these all up and get the intake on. All the intake valves are clean, and now it is time for this, our sound insulation underneath the intake. And here is the intake manifold. I've cleaned it out. I've put a little bit of lubricant on the gaskets. These are in excellent condition. They aren't flat or anything. All right, now we have our beauty cover, which does have some more sound insulation. Direct injectors can be kind of loud, so I think that's what they're going for here. It's intake time. Here we go. Go back to your home with no water. We're gonna install the beauty cover first because it clips into a bunch of stuff back here. So with the beauty cover clipped in the back, now we're gonna slide the intake in. It's like going in a turtle shell. There we are. Yeah, she's landed. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna last bolt. We're good, we're good. All right, throttle body time. We gave the throttle body a little cleaning, so she is ready to go on like that. Sign this guy up. We are getting there. It's looking like a real engine again. And I got new plugs too. Yeah. This is all buttoned up. Everything is plugged in, and we're gonna move on to some new spark plugs. We're going with some Denso Iridium long life plugs. So the Flooded Auto, Frozen Auto, Silverado last forever. In you go, Denso, in you go. Always start your spark plugs by hand. Then you can use one of these to save time. Just go slow. And just stop there. And I always mention this with spark plugs, but just look at the box. It'll tell you how much to torque it. So this does not have a crush washer. It's just a taper. So we're gonna do 1/16 of a turn. That's it. So once you bottomed out, that's about it. You can do it with one hand. It's rare to mess up the threads on the head, but just, you don't need too much. I see people with, you know, a ratchet with twice the handle, just cranking on it. Don't do that. We got our spark plug wires going on. Click. Well, after days of drying, our airbox silencer doesn't have any water in it yet, so we'll throw that on the old throttle body. Clip these guys on. Brand spanking new air filter going in. Fingers crossed here for our mass airflow sensor. Hopefully that's still intact. Everything's buttoned up on the air intake. Before we start it, we're gonna get some transmission fluid in there because we are empty. We had a little bit of water in the transmission pan. It was literally frozen, but we did a flush. We should be good. All right, we have some fresh fuel for this thing. It had fresh water, now it's getting fresh fuel. Yes, okay, there we go. Okay, oh yeah. She's empty. So yeah, we'll put like 5 gallons in here because the fuel pump does kick on when you turn the key, which is pretty cool. We got some used parts from eBay. Oh, and you hear that? You hear that? I just plugged in a used amp and now we get a chime. Yeah, we haven't had any chime yet. Listen to that beautiful chime. Nice. All right, I gotta use one of these that's in way worse condition than mine. Like these buttons are all sticky. Look at that, I can't even press that one. Ah, oh man, this is horrible. I'm returning this. But we got a new screen in, let's see. No, nothing. Okay, it's gonna stop chiming. That can get annoying. All right, guys, we're gonna start this thing up, or we're gonna turn the key and see what happens, but oh my God, here we go, here we go, here we go. Is it running? It's running. Oh my gosh. It's so quiet. I wasn't even sure if it was running. Like I felt like it was a hybrid when you turn it forward and it just makes kind of a weird noise, like a humming. Wow. Okay, it's got a little shake to it. Guys, this thing was fully submerged in water. Are you kidding me? A little shake, a little shake. Hopefully it'll, you know, clear up. I shut it down because I heard something leaking under the truck. I'm like, what did I do? Nothing. It's literally just lake water coming out of the exhaust. So a lot of mufflers have weep holes, and there you have it. We're gonna be blowing out some water from the exhaust system. Let's start it up again. Fires right up like a champ. Look at that. We don't even have any belt squeaks or anything, but yeah, she's running a little shaky. Oh, we have power steering. Nice. We got throttle, but yeah, she's running rough. See if it'll clear up. We got an alternator light on. Come on, baby, clear up, clear up. All right, we got a miss. Yeah, it's pretty bad. We gotta figure out what that is. I'm gonna shut her down. I got a little smoke to be expected after an intake cleaning. Look at the water coming out of the exhaust. It's possible this is kind of plugged up. I'm gonna let this drip out for a little bit. But we have a running flooded Silverado. This is amazing. I don't even know how to comprehend this. I should be more excited than I am. This is nuts, guys. Seriously, and I know the videos take time to come out, but in real time, it's been about 1 week since I picked this up at the auction. This is insane. Man, you guys ever seafoam a car? This is that, but to the extreme. Oh my gosh, we got the fan trying to battle the wind. I don't know what that's doing. It's starting to clear up though. Oh yeah. This just looks cool with all the smoke. Chevy Silverado Z71. All right, we got the big boy now. Not messing around. Oh, it's sucking all the smoke out. Woo! So we're still on the used cluster and the center screen doesn't work anymore, so that's weird. She's running great though. Look at that. We're starting to get a little temperature in the engine, great oil pressure. These lights are always on the check engine light. I think that just has to do with the fact that this isn't the right cluster, but we're getting like 14.7 volts at the alternator, so we're good. All right guys, we're far from driving this thing. You know, I gotta try out the old trans. Let's see, I'm on the brake. It's in 2-wheel drive. Let's see, oh! No way, it's spinning. Well, let's try reverse. All right. Yes! Dare we try 4-wheel drive? I think we should. All right, here we go. It's flashing, solid, okay. Here we go. Yes! Oh, we got 4-wheel drive too! Are you kidding me? No way! I don't know if I mentioned this. So this truck was $5,300, but there's a bunch of fees at these auctions. You gotta be careful. So there was $1,200 in fees, and I have a dealer license, so there'd be even more if you were paying someone to do this for you. But I have $6,500 into this truck, which is still, I think, a fantastic deal if it runs and drives. I mean, it looks mint. Ah! And it almost does run and drive right now. So we got obviously still a ton of work to do. It is very, very late. I gotta let the smoke clear. I think I'm gonna pass out, but we're back at it. We're back at it tomorrow. One more start. It's so nice. It runs great now. It's totally cleared up. Wow. So I'm gonna take things one step further under the hood here. We're gonna add a little bit of dielectric grease. So we're just gonna take this grease directly on the pins like that and around. And we'll just go ahead, plug it back in. There we go. And a common misconception is that dielectric grease increases connectivity of two electrical parts. It doesn't, it's dielectric grease. This is an insulator. We're just keeping the pins from connecting to each other. We don't want that. That means they're shorting. So this is also gonna make that seal even more weatherproof. never mind. I spoke too soon. It is still shaking. Yeah, all right, well, it's getting late. Let's call it a night. Well, it's the next morning, and I've had time to ponder what happened last night and come up with a game plan right now for the Silverado because we still have that misfire. We don't know if the cooling system works. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill the transfer case and the differentials now that we know that everything kind of works. And yes, it's okay to spin them, you know, one revolution with no oil. There's no hydraulics or a pump or anything like that. But anyway, we're gonna fill these now that we know they're good. And then we gotta diagnose this misfire and let this engine run and warm up. And I wanna know if we are 100% mechanically sorted. So right now I'm pumping in our AMSOIL fully synthetic transmission fluid. That's what this guy takes. And then we'll move on to the differentials. Once it starts draining out, you know you're full. And we'll put our fill plug back in like so. Transfer case is done. You see the skid plate right here? That's a Z71 option. Z71. Differentials are getting the severe gear fluid. And these squeeze pouches are amazing. No special tools required. Just a good squeeze with your hand, good to the last drop. There we go. All right. And look at the fill plug on this thing. It's massive. Sweet click. I don't know if this is Z71 specific or if you even consider this a skid plate, but it's got that and that, an electric power steering skid plate. Last up is the rear differential. Drink up, buddy. Rear diff is full. We are good here. Don't mind me. I'm just mopping up lake water from the shop floor. And after this, we're gonna fire it up, see if it runs any better this morning. God, hopefully it's nothing too serious. These did have lifter issues, and who knows if an injector went bad. We're gonna find out. All right, first start here in the morning. Fires right up. Oh yeah, sounds great, little shake. No smoke yet, but you can hear it. It's definitely got a miss. It's starting to clear up a little bit, and the coolant temp is almost in the middle there at 210. Curious to see if these fans work. No fan action just yet. All right, this is looking pretty cut and dry. Cylinder 6 misfire counter just keeps on going up. Oh yeah, lots of misfires. Okay, let's shut it down. Okay, well, we're reading 2,000 ohms on this spark plug wire. That is a lot. I just ordered a new one. And what are we gonna get? Yeah, that is way more like it. Okay, our spark plug looks fine. They're all brand new. So now we're gonna have brand new spark plug wires too. Sweet, hopefully this fixes it, it should. All right, we have our new spark plug wire going in. Click, nice click. The coils are under these covers. You can't see them, but you can feel them and you can hear them. There we go. Okay, I'm firing the hole again. Good start. Oh yeah, this looks smooth now, guys. Before it was shaking around pretty noticeably. And what do we got? Zero across the board, no misfires. Awesome. You know I'm treating my baby with all new plug wires, so who knows what happened when that thing was frozen. I don't know, expanded in there, cut the wire. I don't know, I don't care, but we're good. I swear these fans were just on a moment ago. Come back to me, they were working. Oh, come on, yeah! Woo, we got fans. Oh, it's so nice. All right. Yes, we got it. Sometimes fans look like that when they first kick on. That's normal. And I mean, just look at these gauges, people. Just perfect. Woo. I don't know. This engine sounds a little weird to me. Like maybe there's a bearing issue. Listen to this. Yeah. It's a little whiny, which could definitely have been water getting inside of one of the idler bearings or the tensioner bearing or something. Let's take a belt off. Okay, I have the belt off the crank. Let's see if there's any difference. No. That's the same. And there's actually 2 more belts on this, so we gotta keep going. I just took off the AC compressor belt. Let's see, that's my next, yeah, oh yeah. This is bad. Oh, you can hear that. Yeah, and it's a little rusty. I was kind of suspecting we'd need to fix this, but because this bearing didn't wear out due to high mileage, it just got water in it, I'm going to try something that could potentially be a free fix because the compressor on this truck, I think it's like $400. Okay, there we go. It fell to the ground. With the bolt out, we should be able to take apart the clutch for the compressor and the bearing. Come on, shimmy off. I got this loose. Should be able to get this off now. There we go. So next we have a snap ring. And I don't have any pliers that'll fit this, but we should be able to snake it out. Yeah, there we go. Big ones are easier to take off. There we go. Now we can take this off. And this is the bearing. This is the AC clutch bearing. And that's all that's bad here. Let's go see if we can fix it. So there's a seal here, and there's a seal here, and there's grease inside. So we're gonna try and gently pop this seal out like that. Yeah, you can see a little water got in there. It's just a little rusty. That's all. So behind this plastic cage are the ball bearings, but I don't want to risk ruining this cage to get it out. We don't really need to either. We're just gonna use a little bit of brake clean. Yeah, you can see all that rust coming out. Oh yeah. Woo, she's dirty. Little compressed air. All right, we're making a mess here, aren't we? All right, let's clean a little, let's see. It's getting better. You can still kind of feel a little grit in there though. Oh man, woo! That's what lake water will do to your bearings. After a few minutes of cleaning, this is spinning much, much better. You can still hear a little drag because there's no grease in it. We're gonna fix that though with some synthetic wheel bearing grease, high temp stuff. All right, let's get some grease in this guy. We're just gonna kind of pack it in there by hand, just like that, and push it in as much as you can. And we're getting right past the ball bearings right now. Get in there. All right, I have this all packed in, and this is feeling great. And most importantly, it's sounding great. You don't really hear much of anything. That's what you want. Now we'll put our seal back in. This is just a very gentle press fit, just like that. Let's make sure it's even all the way. All right, we rebuilt a bearing. Great. The rest of everything looks good, so we can just slide this on. Oh yeah, feels so nice. Next we have our C-clip. All right, we'll work this thing on there. Okay, yep, that's it. There's a little washer that you could lose. It goes in there. That slides on. Little Loctite. Never going anywhere, are you? This is a stretch belt, meaning there is no belt tensioner. So we're gonna put it on the crank. And this takes a little finesse, but you can eventually get it on the AC compressor. Crank the engine. Come on, baby. Gotta be quick about it. Yeah, oh, almost. Almost. Yeah, almost there. Come on, baby. One more rib. Okay, sometimes you gotta get the pry bar in there. Shift it. And we're good. Okay, we're back on. Sweet. All right, let's see what she sounds like. Oh yeah. That's perfect. Oh yeah. That's mint. We totally fixed it. You can fix bearings in 2025. A lot of people don't rebuild stuff anymore, but in this case, you can do it. It's now or never, people. This is a good time to see what CD is stuck in here because I have a new one. This does not work at all. Max says it's a Metallica CD.
That is my guess.
And he thinks it's because of this red line. He's never seen another red line CD that's not Metallica. Now, I don't know whose truck this was, but he's a fisherman from Wisconsin. He bought it new in 2015, so he's gotta be kind of older. I mean, it's like a really expensive truck back then, 10 years ago. I'm gonna go with either Bruce Springsteen or John Cougar Mellencamp. That's what I think Wisconsin fishermen are listening to. Just, they're bass fishing away, and it's just...
you know, there might be some like George Strait.
I mean, yeah, that's right up there.
John Denver.
Yeah. Let's not get crazy, Max. I mean, come on. I don't want to ruin the CD. I want to give it back to this guy if we ever find him, but I also don't want to spend 4 hours disassembling this CD player. All right, we're getting violent. Sorry, John Cougar. Is John Cougar Mellencamp's like middle name really Cougar? Or was that just something his like publicity PR people were like, people are into cougars these days?
Maybe they were like, Wildcat doesn't sound good.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You gotta take those screws out in the front.
These two?
No.
Those are
rivets or screws.
Oh, no, they are regular. Well, that one's weird. That's a different one?
It's like a star. That was a Phillips.
What?
Unless it got damaged.
Has someone been in here before? Maybe this is a one-in-one Mellencamp CD. All right, we have to go to the toolbox and get some tools. That's what we have at the box. Max?
We'll be the holder of the screws.
I'll rescue you, John, or Metallica. Here we go, people. Yeah. This was bad. Oh, we can see writing in there. Hold on, what does it say? We might be able to tell.
Come on.
Just What I Needed is the third song on the album.
Just what I needed.
Just What I Needed, third song on the album. Come on, take a guess. There's no way anyone's gonna get this. All right, hold on. First song on the album, Good Times Roll. Let the good times roll? Oh, it's the Cars. It's the Cars. We were both wrong. But that is very, like, potentially 50s-ish Wisconsin fisherman, or myself. I like the Cars too. Let the good times roll. I'm in touch.
Unless it's a cover by Metallica.
Yes. There's only 6 songs on this CD. I'm gonna put this in my Oldsmobile and listen to it. Well, if we pry this up, Maybe we can get this out without damaging it. Get out of here, CD player spinner, my bobber. Oh, she wants to come out. Oh, there we go. Yes, undamaged. Woo, look at that, the Cars. Oh no, there's 9 songs, sweet. It's got a little mold. Nothing some steam can't take care of, and a little wipe. They say when you clean a CD to wipe out. Don't ever just go like this, wipe out. Oh man, I don't know if I can get that out.
Yeah, I'm from the era where we had to clean CDs with toothpaste.
With toothpaste?
Yeah, you put toothpaste on it, and then supposedly you're supposed to hold it in the toilet when you flush it, and it'll like spin all the toothpaste off, but it like fixes.
Max, I think it's pretty safe to say you've been lied to, boy.
Well,
that is not a thing. I can't get that one spot out.
Toothpaste.
All right, anyway. Eventually, I plan on driving this to Wisconsin if we figure out what boat launch location it was, and then we'll have hopefully a CD player working in there, and we'll try out the Cars CD. Yes, and hopefully I do see you in a couple of days. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ross. Bye. Oh my God, guys. This is it. The original owner of my lake flooded Silverado emailed me and we just spoke on the phone, and there is so much more to this story. Like the flood line that the insurance company drew down here, which is way off. As you can see from one of the pictures that Russ sent me, my Silverado is almost fully submerged in the lake. So this was a boat ramp accident, and it happened in November. Now my Chevy Silverado doesn't look like a whole lot right now. The interior is completely disassembled, but all of that is about to change, and I'm pretty sure I have all of the remaining parts to get this Silverado back on the road. A lot of cheap used parts and some really expensive new parts from the dealer, and I want to see if we can drive this thing all the way back to Wisconsin to that very boat ramp. And I will be breaking down all of the costs associated with this rebuild. Was it even a good deal? You guys are gonna find out. So with that, let's get to work. Let's get my Chevy back on the road. Where I want to start off is getting screens to come back to life. So if you guys remember, this screen on our used cluster did work, and then it just never worked again. It stopped working and I can't get it to turn back on. I do have a brand new cluster from the dealer. It was $300, which isn't too bad. So we might have to put that in, but I want to try and revive this because I can still return that cluster if we don't code it. Also, this radio screen doesn't work either. Now, what I'm hoping for is that these 2 modules will fix everything. And I did have to get these new from the dealer. You can't get used ones. So this is the telematics control module, and this is the HMI, the human machine interface. Now, at first I thought that module had to do with robots becoming self-aware and integrating with humans, but that module has everything to do with screens working, touch screens, and ours doesn't work. So let's replace that guy. Here we go. We're programming the HMI. These say ECU for pretty much all of them, but we're doing HMI. We just finished programming. Check this out. We have a screen and static. Oh yeah, lots and lots of static. But we have a screen. That's crazy. We still don't have this screen. I don't know what's going on still with that. Hang on, let's see. Hey, look at that. No way. Oh, we're just on like a random non-working station. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Everyone from Chicago's gonna know. Let's go to the country station. Oh, I can't play this, guys. It's copyrighted music, but it works. It works. Let's go back home. Wow, this is so cool, guys. I don't know what else to do here. Let's see, Navi. Okay, we have no GPS, it's fine. I have an antenna disconnected. All right, guys, this is really neat. Media, no media. Okay, Bluetooth, everything. Yeah, there's our CD player behind it. It doesn't have a CD. This is our new one that we put in, but it tried to eject, so that's cool. Did we lose everything? What did I just do? Oh, okay, it blanks out while you eject. Ah, there we go. Okay, it's back. Okay. You know what I haven't tried doing because I just assumed it was totally shorted out would be plugging in the old screen. Let's see what happens. All right, here's our old screen. Yeah, she's fried. The old screen is fried. I have an awesome subscriber named Jose who's a GM dealer tech, and he hooked us up with some really awesome information that sometimes you need to update the software and you do it through a USB drive and you literally stick it in here. And so we had to put the center console back in. We stick it in there. You can only do this with a working screen. So now that we have that, something should pop up. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Update. Sweet. This is great. Man, if this brings back our cluster and actually shows the 55,000 miles, I can return the one from the dealer and get my $300 back. That'd be so cool. We are all done with the update via the USB, and check this out. Our used cluster has its screen back. Originally, when we got this used cluster for like 50 bucks, we did get that screen to work, but it said 143,000 miles or whatever it came out of. Then it just stopped working out of nowhere for like many days, and now we just got it back with the update. Let's see the miles. So obviously we have a lot of lights on, but dismiss, 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 dismiss. Okay, how do you get the miles on this thing? Info. Oh, it's got the right miles. No way, 55,225. That's what this truck actually has, and we programmed the new body control module with the mileage. That was like the only thing asking us for mileage, and that programmed the cluster as well. And when we went into cluster, it said the right mileage, but the screen wasn't working. Now the screen's working. We can return the $330 cluster that we bought from the dealer. I really thought I was gonna need this, so I just went ahead and ordered it, and it says, do not open. If you open it, you can't return it, but we didn't open it, so we can return it. You know, we gotta start this thing up. Oh yeah, look at that. All the gauges work, running perfect. We do have a check engine light on, so I'll have to figure that out. We'll have to reset the oil light, and we have 188 miles of range. I don't know how accurate that is considering we have a quarter tank. Do these things get really good mileage? I doubt it. It was reset. It's saying 28 mpg average. No way. She's running good, she's running good. All right, cool, let's keep going. Something that's gonna take me forever, but I think is gonna be important with the electronics in this truck working, would be taking apart lots of switches and cleaning them. So this is for the trailer brake. As you can see, there's some corrosion there, but it's not too bad. Normally I use electronic contact cleaner for stuff like this, which I will be using as a rinse, but I found that this works really well too, as far as getting like a deeper clean. So we're just gonna spray a little bit right on the board. You see it kind of bubbling up there, and just use a nylon bristled brush, no metal here. And we're just gonna go around gently and clean up this board, and we'll pop it out as well. Everything looks pretty good on here as far as the pins. And I'm gonna use this as a rinse. There we are. And I'd say our trailer brake is gonna work just fine. That looks perfect. So now I'm gonna dry this off. We're gonna reapply this because this seals and protects as well. So we'll just give it a light kind of coating like that. A little bit on the back, and now we can reassemble our trailer brake. Now, along with cleaning out all of the switches I can get to, I am going to attack all of the electrical connectors as well, and there are many, lots of them plug into, well, everything here. They look pretty decent, but I'm gonna hit each and every one of them. So you can see the corrosion buildup. So we're gonna let this D5 deoxit sit in here for about a minute, bubble up, do its thing, and we'll brush its teeth as well. A little rinse, a little air. And then a light spray to protect the pins and seal them up. And that's it. I'm gonna rinse and repeat that probably 50 more times, but I think it'll be well worth it in the end. It'll take me a couple hours, but I don't wanna deal with problems later. I mean, there's already a chance of many electrical gremlins, so let's eliminate as many as possible. I also ordered a bunch of fuse boxes. There's 3 of them on this truck, and they're really cheap. So this was 30 bucks for this whole thing. If you guys remember, we did have a lot of rust on some of these relays. I do believe that is working right now, but I don't trust it. 30 bucks, why not? So I removed its power supply and this plug, and these are really easy. You just kind of do that. One of these, and it comes right out. It's pretty awesome. These pins thankfully looked great, but you know what we gotta do? Clean them up. Definitely have the battery disconnected when you're doing this. Oh man, this comes complete with the nut on there and everything. You can't beat it. Here's our new part going in. Sweet, look at that. All the fuses, relays were identical. We're good. That feels good. I put the switches back in, and yeah, I think we're working. Yeah, we can adjust the trailer brake gain. Awesome. Something I'm really interested in seeing is behind the airbag. Woo. All right, so there's a couple clips I had to get from the inside. Okay, yeah, this is what I was worried about. Obviously, corrosion going on in here. All right, I'll pop up these little plugs, and obviously the battery's disconnected. Let's get the steering wheel off. All right, here it comes. Steering wheel's off. And here's what I'm going after, the clock spring right here. So this is gonna make all of the electrical connections in the steering wheel. It's kind of like a gyro. You guys ever had a BMX bike back in the day where you could spin the handlebars over and over and over again? It's kind of like that. It's got a ribbon inside so you can turn the wheel lock to lock and still have an electrical connection. So the clock spring is pretty important, but they use a grease inside of here and it's very well sealed. So I just popped this cover off partially. I don't want to take it all the way off because this is wound up, but you can see inside of there, the ribbon is perfect and you can see the grease is still all the way around. Snap this back together. Cool. And all the connectors are in really good condition as well. So something you guys may be wondering is, what do we do with all of the airbags in a flood car? Well, technically, all of the airbags should be replaced. You're not gonna find any answer other than that if you Google it. But I would take this case by case, because looking at the airbag material, it looks fine. And we can see all of them. They look absolutely perfect. Here's another one. The airbag system is also very sensitive to resistance. So if there is an issue with one of the bags or the circuit, it'll definitely throw a code. So at this point, I'm gonna reassemble, we'll scan for codes and kind of go from there. I thought I had everything working in the interior, but these climate control buttons, they just don't light up or work at all. A lot of times the module for the climate control is part of the push button assembly, but not on my Silverado. Here is the control unit. It was buried deep in the dash. We can't communicate with it. It's in pretty rough shape, but I'm gonna give it a whirl. I've resurrected modules before. Let's do it. I've never had this before, so this is kind of a new weapon in my arsenal of electronic fixing. Here's the other side. Never mind. This thing is literally falling apart. That just popped off, and I just noticed this rust here, it's gone all the way through the board. I gotta say, on the BMW Alpina, some of those modules, they were more robust, you know? Like everything else in the BMW falls apart, but the circuit boards. Steering wheel is going back on. This is keywayed, so it only goes on one way. Plug this in. We have our steering wheel nut. Do a little Loctite. And I've cleaned up all of these connectors. Looking good. And now we have our airbag connectors. Again, make sure your battery's disconnected for this part. And this just has clips, so it'll just snap in. There we go. She's back. All right, with the steering wheel all back together, I just replaced this antenna splitter module. It sits right in there. It was like $15, but I also had to replace the harness. It broke off, and it goes to the HMI module. So here is our new harness. It's running all the way through the dash, and the harness was $8. So I have like $25-ish into replacing that. It had corroded from the rust, and that water line, I think, was probably right there at the top of the dash. So maybe it got a little bit more oxygen than everything else and corroded. I don't know, but it's a GM. And it was cheap. And you know what else is cheap and potentially not bad, but I don't want to deal with later? The blower motor. So this has a control unit. It's not just a simple resistor anymore. And you can see here, it's pretty rusted. So I got a new one for $115, the entire assembly. And right now, with everything taken apart, it's super easy to replace. Just kind of goes in there with 3 screws. All right, we got 3 T20s going in. You know the deal, we're right here. Let's spray some of this in there, let it soak. I pulled a bunch of other connectors in the area. They're all getting cleaned. Oh, you think you can get away? I don't think so, buddy. Scrub-a-dub. Get in here too. I think it's little stuff like this that's gonna make the difference in this flood rebuild. There's a lot of flood cars that probably get pushed to auction and they just don't spend the time, where maybe it could be a good car. You just gotta give it a chance. Our HVAC doesn't work yet because I'm waiting on the new control unit that's coming in a couple hours. So I've moved on to door panels. This driver window is working. This one is not. You can hear it clicking though. And we did jump this motor and it did work, so I don't know. Yeah, passenger doesn't work either. This one works. Okay, 2 out of 4, not bad. We're gonna connect power to this motor. Oh, it's sparking. Let's go the other way. Oh yeah, haha. Oh, she's fast too. Jeez, these little batteries are awesome. Oh man, all right, let's see, can we get it to go back up? Yeah, we fixed it. Cool. I'll run this back a few times, really clean up that motor. You guys are wondering how long stuff like this is gonna last. I don't know. We're gonna find out though. I like it. We're gonna plug this in for the real test. I just wanna show you how many wires go into a door panel on a modern vehicle. Ain't no more power and ground. 40 wires going into this connector, that's crazy. How do they expect you to fix one of these things after it goes in a lake, you know? Jeez. Door panel going on. Let's see if it works. Oh, yeah. Woo, we fixed another one. Haha, sweet. I think at this point, while we wait for that HVAC control unit, let's do some interior modification. All right, well, our interior mod has to do with dyno matting the entire floor, but listen to this. Oh wait, that's not the speaker. I heard this weird noise. That's the window switch. Oh no. That window switch is freaking out. I gotta get to this. This could catch on fire. Great. Oh, we gotta get to this quick. What are you doing, window switch? Oh no, it's, yeah. Oh man, this thing is freaking out. Okay. Oh. I think I'm gonna replace this. Oh man, guys, if you were wondering what it's like to live with a flood damaged vehicle, I think this is it. This is my first flood damaged vehicle. I cleaned all of these too, but that wasn't good enough. Okay, again, good thing it's a GM. This is probably like $4. Oh, it's making different noises now. Oh, it's like a speaker. Okay, we're done. All right, let's get a new one of these. Let's see what's going on in here. This thing was super corroded, but I cleaned it. I don't know. Could be this little guy here. Who knows? It's not hot or anything, so that's good. But she gone. She's getting replaced. Check this out. I found a new one for $9.49. Does that mean that thing was like $4.49 like 5 years ago? Probably. You guys have seen me use this stuff before, but you can do an entire car for about 40 bucks. I'll leave a link down below. I just get this off of Amazon, and you can see it's got a sticky back here. There's a little bit of sound detonating from the factory, but you know, this is just bare. It can be kind of loud. This pickup truck is like so flat and nice, so we're just gonna do that, mold it around with your hands, and that's it. We're gonna do that to the entire interior, then put the carpet on. It's gonna give us a much nicer, quieter ride. Our Silverado is gonna be kind of like if they had kept the Cadillac version of the pickup truck. Remember those, like the Avalanche version? It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be super quiet in here. Then you can hear all of the electrical gremlins freaking out. That's my test right there. It works. Seriously, I did this to my DeLorean, which is not a very well-built vehicle. And driving that thing down the road now, it's super quiet. It just makes it feel like nicer, like just a better quality car. We're getting there. Passenger side is almost done, and the stuff is really easy to cut around studs like that. I even ran it up in here too as well. So here's some of the studs for the back seat. I just took the nuts off, and we can overlap it just a little like that. Tuck it in, and it'll just poke right through. Here's the other one. Conforms beautifully. Look at that. Sweet. I'm going to town. I think I'm gonna use the whole box. It's gonna be the quietest Silverado in the world. So here's the rest, and I think we're gonna have enough. This is gonna add about 30 pounds to the Silverado. Whenever I dyno mat a car, people are like, you just added weight to your car or truck. Who cares, all right? I even put some of this in my GTR. I'm gonna raise the boost by like a 1/4 PSI and make up for it. Man, wait till you see that one. The carpet on the GTR is like this thin because it's basically, you know, got Nissan Altima interior stuff. But yeah, I think this is gonna help that car a lot. We are all done. I used the entire box, which is total overkill. You can actually cut this up into little squares and just put them all over the place. Basically, if you don't have an area covered, if there is a piece right next to it, it's gonna absorb that noise. So you don't need to go this far. But when a truck is good to you by running, you know, and not having a blown engine, you gotta be good to it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I think we're down to the last 2 control modules that we need to install and program. This is the new one for the HVAC from the dealership, and this is a $40 used SRS control unit, even though ours is fine. I'm gonna see if we can just code that in there just in case, but not honestly anything to see here. This thing like literally goes all the way back here. So get that plugged in. So like you guys saw me do before, we have the SPS2 program from GM, 45 bucks for 2 years. And here's HVAC control module, so we'll get to programming that. I'll leave you guys a link. I'm not sponsored at all. Like I just went online, you pay 45 bucks, and now this VIN is unlocked for 2 years. So you know that's one of those right to repair things. GM probably didn't want to do that, but they were forced to so that you could fix your own car at home for the most part. This won't do everything, but it's been doing a lot. While those modules are programming, let's reassemble. Here's our amp and our rear electric motor for the window. I'm so happy I have an electric motor back here. That's such a cool pickup truck thing to be able to do. And now they actually have this pretty well noise insulated. Because in between the cab and the bed, you can get a lot of noise actually. So they give you this thick thing to put over it. So get this buttoned up. Yeah, looking good, looking good. Tighten up our seatbelt here. Oh, this is nice. This clips in here like that. Just like factory people. Before I get to cleaning this entire interior, we have to double check all the motors. There's so many for the seats. So we have a battery connected. Oh, she's sparking. Yeah, that thing's probably locked up. Let's reverse the old polarity. A little bit. Yeah, when it's sparking at the battery like that, the thing is locked. But it's a motor, just like a starter. You can give it some love taps. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's not fully bolted in, but it's working. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can totally revive motors like this. Obviously, it had a little bit of rust in there that was holding it up, but we'll work it back and forth and it'll probably be okay. If not, it's a cheap motor we can swap out easily. Now, the carpets from the truck didn't look all that bad, so I just let them dry and gave them a quick vacuum, and they look practically brand new now. They really don't smell at all. I don't know what else I can do with these, but we can make the seats look a little bit better. I gave them a quick cleaning, but as you can see, the rear seats have some mold. So this is mostly what I'm gonna use here. Some release, a drill, my little brushes, and we're gonna steam them as well. This blue blower thing is pretty cool too. Let's start off with a pretty clean surface. And it is steam time, people. I'm gonna get in everywhere. This will kill everything that's alive in this seat. But honestly, I don't think there's really anything alive. These really do not smell at all. And once we put the interior back together, I'm gonna show you guys something really cool. It's called an ozone machine. Die lake bacteria. I'm sure it just dies sitting here on my shop floor for a week, but you know what I mean. After the steam, we're hitting them with some release. This is an all surface cleaner, and I use it on interiors. It's really nice. These little brushes for the drill are amazing. Shameless plug, I do sell a 3-pack at legitstreetcars.com. They're awesome. Highly recommend these for a cleaning interior. Makes everything go so much quicker. Get in there. Look how nice this leather is too. After cleaning with the brush and the release, I'm using the steamer again as kind of a rinse, and then we will wipe it dry with our microfiber. And if you guys are worried about using water on your leather, this truck was fully submerged in a lake for like 45 minutes and then froze. And it's a GM, so all you people saying the quality of GM interiors is lacking, here's the quality of that interior. There you go. It's looking pretty good to me. It can be really hard to clean these perforated seats, but look at this. This had mold all over it. It looked so bad before, and now it's looking pretty good. Passenger seat is all cleaned up and disinfected, and the final step is gonna be a little bit of leather conditioner, and we'll just spray it on a rag, go right on, absorb into our leather, or probably artificial leather that GM uses, I'm not sure, but it's gonna protect it and make it look pretty. All right, here's what our passenger seat looked like before when I picked this thing up at the auction, and here's what it looks like now. I can't wait for Russ to take a seat. We're definitely taking him for a ride. Actually, I gotta let him drive the thing, so I'm gonna clean this and the rest of them will be good on seats. I was going around minting out this passenger seat and I see this tube here and I'm like, oh man, that thing is filled with water. I gotta like drain that. And I ran the part number on the sensor. That's actually a fluid filled seat occupancy sensor. So it's supposed to have a fluid in there. It's not water. It's gotta have some kind of antifreeze, type of fluid inside of it so it doesn't freeze. But yeah, when you sit down in the passenger seat, there's a bladder inside and it pushes the fluid into that sensor to tell the airbag system that someone is sitting there. So don't drain your tube. It's supposed to be that way. It's time for the carpet and then these beautiful seats. Here is the final for the rear. So these were pretty nasty, and honestly, you cannot tell that these aren't brand new seats. The rears were probably never sat in. They are perfect. The fronts ain't looking too bad either. But anyway, let's start bringing our carpet over. It is carpet time. We're gonna start off with the rear, then the seats. The interior is coming back together. This thing's all programmed. Let's see what we got. Are we gonna get blower motor now? Oh yeah, just taking off like a jet. Woo! Will it switch? Yeah, no, let's switch down. Oh yeah, we got on the foot too. Sweet. Look at that, we got our blend door working. Perfect. So we're switching right now to heat, and okay, cool. That's nice. It still doesn't turn red. This has to turn red, right, when you get to hot? Silverado Sierra, guys, that turns red, right? This is crazy. I've tested every single button. It all works. Everything switches. You can see it in the cluster. This is the only one that doesn't work. Rear defrost. Got nothing. Chime volume. We gotta turn this down. It's so, oh no, is that the lowest? Oh my gosh. That is loud. Okay, you're going all the way down, buddy. Yeah, I mean, everything is working. Let's see. Remote start with auto-cooled seats. Yeah, turn me on. Duh. Remote window operation. Oh, yeah, we want that on. Yeah, we're gonna have remote start with auto-heated seats as well. We have Crunchy McCruncherson plugged in right now. Let's see if anything changes here. Ah, we do get the red. I knew it. All right, does this work? Huh, that's still not working. That is stuck. Huh, that's weird. Why isn't rear defrost working? Okay, it's something to figure out, but yeah. But hold on, this is showing blue and red just at all times. Does it not go red when you get to a certain point? I have no idea. I got nothing, people. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Still can't believe they gave us this crusty one. Look, can't even press the buttons. This is horrible. That one's stuck now. Someone spilled something in here. Whatever, mine works. Whew. This thing's kind of heavy. I had to take the long way around the shop. Whew. Did I make it? I don't know what I'm more worried about, messing up the paint or the seats, both. This thing's just so nice. Oh God, if this thing runs and drives down the road, can't believe it was only 6,500 bucks. Whew. This side of the bench is in, and I just installed our spare tire jack, goes right here. And now it's time for the little guy. There we go. All right, gets the nuts in. You know I gotta do it. You know I gotta sit in these back seats. Oh. It's so comfortable, guys. It is so comfortable. Oh man. I got cup holders. I got everything. My kids are gonna love this. Window open. We're pickup truck people now. Before the front carpet goes in, it's time for our Ram Air induction. This is for the heat to make it all the way to the back passengers so that they can be nice and comfy. All right. It's front carpet time, it's front carpet time. Here we go. This is a very satisfying part of the project, I must say, as it all comes together. Next, we have our Bose subwoofer to reinstall in the box. This was, filled with water, of course, but the speaker itself looks great. I think it's gonna work, and we're gonna find out. Bose sub going in. All right, it's not making any weird noises yet. I can't do copyrighted music, but this definitely works. It sounds great, honestly. For having such a small sub, if there's anywhere it can work, it's as close to the driver as possible. Good job, GM. Center console going in. Lots of connectors going on here, that's for sure. Of course, these are all cleaned up as well. Looking good. Is in. Not messing around with this center console, I'll tell you that. Okay, I got a lot of stuff plugging into this center console here. It's like a real car again. This is awesome. It's about to go back together with our cup holders. There's still lake water in here. It is a nice, beautiful, sunny day, so all the ice is gone. It's been gone for a while now. We'll pour this out right there in memory. Pour one out for my lake homies. This is a really cool feature. You can take this and swap it. Yeah, you can swap it in this position just in case you like your drink here and you like to store more stuff in here. I don't know. Silverado, they thought of everything. You can dunk them in lakes. You can switch around your cup holders. They're perfect. Next, we have one of 2 glove boxes. That's right. We got 2, an upper. This has 4 screws. And we have a lower, like that. And we have truck camper load information. This truck should not be used to carry a slide-in camper. The more you know. Ba-na-na-na. Cluster is all bolted in. Now we just have this totally real leather cover that goes on top. Beautiful. All this is done too. Oh man, just wanna be all over this thing. I don't know. Seat time, people. Front seat time. They've definitely gotten lighter, now that the water's out of them. Or maybe I'm stronger, one of the two. It's the water. It's definitely the water. Okay. Always be careful of the dash. Oh man. Oh yeah. Yes. Passenger seat. When you're installing seats, it's really best to just remove the headrest. So when I did that, my hand got wet for some reason. Yeah, look at that. So these have this little flap that you can, unhook. It was just holding all the water right at the bottom. I still got water in this thing. Driver's seat is in. We have this going on. Don't have this one, so that's kind of important. I've taken the seat back out. This is pretty cool stuff, but here is the motor for the recline, and then this is one of the cooled seat motors, and it has like a little air filter here, and then here's that gel bladder for the occupancy sensor. Pretty neat. But we can also see the airbags and everything. Everything looks great, guys. Like, seriously, it looks so good. Oh, look at the lumbar. That's how it works. This cable will push in on your back. That's neat. Yeah, this motor's not working. We're gonna have to shock it back to life. All right, let's give it some 18 volts. Oh yeah. It worked. Worked for a minute. I'll reverse the polarity. Yeah. Go back. Perfect. We shocked it. We gave you 18, just like you wanted. Guys, I think that's officially the fix for electrical motors that have been underwater. Don't give them 12 volts or 14 when their truck's running. Give them 18. It's like Frankenstein. You're just bringing them back. Cleaned up all the connectors. Let's plug this in. Nice. Yeah. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Super quiet too. Perfect. Oh man, we're in business, guys. Look at these seats, they're beautiful. All right, we're getting there, guys. I think we're gonna go for a little test maiden voyage run. We're driving this thing all the way to Wisconsin, but I don't even know if the transmission is good. So before we fully assemble everything, we're waiting on little parts and our headrests are drying. Let's swap out the old Rural King and go for a ride. This is the battery out of the Typhoon. I thought it was a goner, but it has saved us. This whole time we've been using this, but I don't trust it. We're gonna get the right one in. Honestly, the right size battery is like about the same size as the old Rural King, but it's got a handle, so it's so nice. Battery's done. Let's get our little subframe connector in. I already bolted that one in. These trucks fall apart without these underhood subframe connectors. I'm just kidding. I don't think they do anything. All right, for now, everything is done under the hood. Look at that, wow. This didn't shut before because it was frozen and now it shuts, sweet. Final pieces to this interior. We just have to screw this in. All right, we'll plug in our heated and cooled seat switches. I actually don't know if these work just yet, but all this stuff is really easy to take apart. Beautiful, wow, can't believe this is my truck. This is so cool. Outside of a little bit more cleaning, we are all set. We do need the headrests, obviously. They are still wet, but wow. This is all mine. My Chevy Silverado LTZ Z71 also. It's got lots of letters and numbers. You know, we found a Cars CD in the old CD player. Now we have a new CD player and it works. So let's see what happens.
This vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G.
I want the cars.
Press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
I don't want to learn more. I just want to let the good times roll. No way. It works. I wish there was no such thing as copyright. This totally works. It starts off with let the good times roll. That's so cool. All right, I will be listening to this all the way up to Wisconsin, but then I'm handing this over to Russ. And he's got a 2024 Silverado now. I don't even think that has a CD player.
This vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G connection. Press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
Okay. But if Russ does have a way of playing this, I'm gonna give it to him. If not, I'll take it back. With the interior all back together on the Silverado and dry, I've been running this ozone machine, and this is gonna kill any kind of mold or germs or anything. For this little drive, we just gotta take off these biohazards. I think that's pretty much the last thing. And man, fingers crossed that this transmission shifts. That's all I gotta say. I do think if it does shift, I'm gonna go ahead and flush it. We still have to do the engine oil flush as well, but go for a ride one step at a time, right? For the first drive, we're definitely bringing our computer. Taking this one step further, we have an engine wiring diagram, our multimeter, our breakout box. Because as much as I'm nervous about the transmission not shifting, I'm also nervous about electrical stuff. There we go. Oh, does this cool Chevy thing in there too. I love that. All right, starts right up. All right, here's where we're at for lights. 4-wheel drive service, trailer brake, and we got a check engine light on for some reason, but it's running good. Yeah, it runs great. Okay. I don't know if those engine hours are accurate. This thing has a timer, trans fluid temp, that's awesome. Trailer brake, no way, it's got an off-road. I think this is for the tilt and yaw, so this should move. Oh, this is awesome. This truck keeps getting better. Oh, it shows steering degree. Look at this. Oh, so cool. Here we go, people. First drive. It's running good. We'll worry about that check engine light maybe later. I don't know. I just want to drive it right now. Oh, this thing is huge. I need a bigger shop. All right, so we are going forward. That works. Here's reverse. And we have a backup camera. Pretty good one, too. I like it. Can't believe I'm driving this thing. This is insane. This thing was fully submerged. All right, let's just see if it shifts. Come on, baby. Oh, we're into 2. Come on. That's 3. It's a 6-speed. Come on. Where's 4? Yep, that's 4. Cool. And that's 5. And I think it did 6. I pulled over to scan for codes. This is a new one. Intake air temp not plausible. That means there's more than one intake air temperature sensor? That's weird. All right, we're in actual values. There are 2 sensors apparently, and they are reading way, way differently. This mass airflow sensor was definitely suspect for sure. That's not gonna cause it to run bad, but I think we could just replace this on the road. Let's go get one. We are about to get on the highway. We'll go to the auto parts store. Feels great. Trans is just mint. Okay, we're at 55 miles an hour. That is the legal speed limit, so we won't go any faster than 55. The entire time. I totally will not test this to roughly 80 miles an hour. No, I won't. Look at that. That's one of those Shelby F-150s. Man, if I had a blower on this thing, I'd be hunting them down at 55 miles an hour. Seriously guys, this thing is perfect. It rides like a brand new truck. Look at this, even the alignment is just spot on. We're on kind of a little, okay, that guy's about to hit me, so I won't do an alignment test just yet. But anyway, the alignment's perfect. It's even showing like 33 PSI in each tire. They're not leaking. It's great. I don't know, guys. This should probably be my daily driver. Oh, and this is something I really wanted to double check, and that is the transmission fluid temperature, 153. So originally these have a thermostat and they run at like 200 degrees, but there was an update. I did this on my wife's Escalade, and it brings it down to run around 150, 160, which is way, way better for transmission life. I mean, it was a GM bulletin. So we'll double check the part. The new part looks a little different when we go back in the air, because when we get back, I definitely want to change the oil because we put a flush in there, and then do another transmission flush because it's working so well. I just want to be nice to it, but I think we're good. I don't think I need to buy that $100 thermostat. Wow, with the check engine light, it still goes into 4-cylinder mode. See that? It says V4, and then I'll give it a little gas. It'll switch to V8. So it definitely still has active fuel management enabled, which is something I'm going to disable because it's very problematic. If you don't have a lifter tick, if your engine's running good, I highly recommend you disable that. You will lose, I don't know, like 1 or 2 mpg on the highway, something like that. But it could cost you like 5-6 grand if you don't do the work yourself. You know, you might wipe out the whole cam. It's not worth it in my opinion. But also do whatever the EPA tells you to do. On the way to the auto parts store, I stopped by the shop. We grabbed our T15, so we can just swap this out right here in the parking lot. This thing looked very suspect from the get-go. Yeah, and I cleaned it, but you can see the corrosion in there. And yeah, there are multiple intake air sensors in there, and they just check against each other. That's really weird. Like, it's not that important, you know, to have 2 sensors. And then one fails and you gotta replace it, so I don't know. We'll replace this in like 2 seconds. Click, click. All right, parking lot repair. E-race, no codes. There's our live data, 41 degrees intake air, and then okay for the second one now. Okay, that's weird. A little gas here. Trailer brake system. 4-wheel drive, okay, gotcha. No check engine though. I let it run for a few minutes, and now these temperatures are way closer to each other. I looked it up, and they're usually 5 to 10 away from each other for whatever reason, but that's okay. All right, I think that's fixed. Let's go back to the shop. We have to change some oil and some trans fluid, and yeah, keep going. We got more lights to fix. We made it. Z71. Let's take a look at this oil. Please no weird chunks, please no weird chunks. Here we go. Bam. Oh yeah, it looks beautiful. Oh, I love doing engine flushes. They're just cleaning everything out, and the inside of the crankcase is gonna look perfect. This stuff is great. I used this on my DeLorean that sat for like 32 years, and the oil was just black. It was nasty. Cleaned it right out. It was kind of like doing a colonoscopy, you know, but for your engine, and not that painful. I don't know anything about those, but I hear. Oil filter coming down too. Whew, it is hot. Ah, okay. All right, it's good to warm up your engine when you change your oil, but maybe wait like, you know, 15 minutes. But speaking of changing really hot fluids, we're gonna change the transmission fluid too. I probably don't need to, but this thing has been so good to me so far. Let's just flush it out, make sure 100% there's no water in there. And here's the transmission thermostat I was talking about. I do believe this is the updated one based on the temperatures that we're seeing. And the older one, I guess, was a more square design. And this had a full trans service at the dealer like 4,000 miles before the whole, you know, accident. So they probably did that at the same time. Here we go again. I should have added some kind of drain or gotten a pan with a drain. I think this is too thin to drill one in. Guess we could weld one. I don't know. Hopefully this is the last trans service I have to do for like, you know, 40, 50,000 miles. Probably let the next guy deal with it. I don't know what I'm doing with this thing just yet. Definitely gonna drive it for a while. I really like it. I say that before it's left us stranded going all the way up to Wisconsin. We'll see how that goes first, then we'll make some decisions. Oh, and if you guys are curious, Ross did get a new Chevy Silverado. He was paid out $29,500 by the insurance company for this one, and then with fees, I got it for $6,500. So if it makes it there, guys, I'm gonna add this up at the end of this video. I think we are way, way below that, like under 10 for sure. Right, let's see if I've gotten any smarter here. This is the last time this thing just fell out. All right, I'm leaving 2 in. Kind of doing one of these. We'll drain it out slow. I've learned from my past mistakes. That's what it's all about, right? All right, cool. You know what, getting this pan out is a bear. We're just gonna pump this out, guys. Just go super clean with it. I don't think we need to do another flush, but see what we get. Yeah, we're right at the bottom right now. This is where all the water would be. There's nothing. This trans is great. Look at that. I'll still pump it out. We'll still get some new fluid in here. Why not? Well, that's another 70 bucks in fluid. That's it, guys. Drain the whole pan. Didn't even have to take it out. Technically, you have to take the exhaust down. You can bend this down with a pry bar, though, to get it out. That's what I did last time. There's just no reason. We got it all out with the pump. We're going back together, people. Trans service is done. Let's go fill up some fluids. And we're gonna whittle down some more lights on the dash. I wanna go to Wisconsin to meet up with Russ with like literally a perfect vehicle. I put the same stuff in my wife's Cadillac 8-speed, another problematic transmission, and this stuff works great. A lot of good reviews online from people switching to this and having good luck. So I use AMSOIL and everything, luckily. Similar to the Escalade that calls for 0-20, so does this. I switched to 530. I think 0-20 is just too thin. And in talking with Justin over at Indiana Muscle Car, he works on a lot of these newer LT style engines. They do 530 as well. And I've been running the Escalade now for like 10,000 miles. I don't know. I like it. So we have that 4-wheel drive light on, and one thing I noticed on this is that there is a neutral position. It's really hard to see. There's a little N in here, and that does not work. We did have some codes for the actual switch, so that could cause a 4-wheel drive light. Since this guy was underwater, I'm gonna try and replace it right now. If I can get these clips to release. God, these clips are doing way too good of a job right now. There we go. And I actually got a new one for like 30 bucks, so that's pretty awesome. Bam. And we'll just plug everything back in. And no screws or anything. This guy just clips right back, just like that. Okay, I have to clear the code, but let's see. All right, so we have trailer brake. Are we gonna get 4-wheel drive? I don't know, maybe not. We'll dismiss. All right, let's give this a whirl. We'll go to auto. And it is shifting, we can hear it. And then we have to go to neutral if we want to shift into 4-wheel drive. Shift in progress. So 4-wheel drive worked for low. And another shift in progress. And StabiliTrak comes off. Traction control automatically comes off when you go into 4 low. That is super off-road mode, but let's just go back. We'll run an auto. Traction's back on. Let's try neutral now. Yeah, after a bunch of shifting, we don't have any errors for the 4-wheel drive. That is fantastic. So that's fixed with like a $30 switch. Check it out, no codes, transfer case control module. That would code up immediately before she's fixed. All right, the headrests are back together and totally dry. Let's put these in, slide this in, put our back seats down. You guys remember what the window switch sounded like? Oh no, it's, yeah, oh man, this thing is freaking out. I got a new one. This was like $11 on Amazon. I ended up getting all of them just in case. Snap it in. All right, we have our new switch in. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it works. Sweet, we fixed it. All right. I wish it was this nice when I picked this truck up, but it's nice enough to wash it outside. We got to do that, make it look pretty. Oh, I cannot wait. It's gonna look so good. Woo. Legit Street Cars foam cannon time. Oh yeah. Woo. This is how you get to know your vehicle. Wash it, people. Wash your own cars. It's fun. All right, she's all washed up. It is rinse time. Gigantic drying towel time. Oh my gosh, yeah. Look at how dry that gets it. I'm gonna dry this thing off in just a couple minutes. Oh yeah, look at my Silverado. Oh, this is so nice. Are you kidding me? Now we do have this crease right here we gotta fix, and some stuff here, which we're gonna try and knock out before we head out to Wisconsin. And I'm gonna keep this on as long as it'll stay. Well, I drove this thing home. It's the next morning. Everything was going great. I was just about to get gas, and it's running right now, but I lost tack. I have no tack right now, but it is running. And the trans started shifting like really weird. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm driving it right now. Oh, it's shaking. Okay. Check engine light is back too. I couldn't imagine the crank sensor went bad or it wouldn't run, you know, for the RPM not working unless the cluster just died. But at the same time, it's running bad. Okay, that shift was okay. Ah, yeah. It's got a little one of these going on. I just left my house too. I got like a half hour till the shop. Man, I hope I can make it. I just pulled over into a Forest Preserve parking lot. And I did not bring this in last night. Ah, no. My scanner's dead. It's still running. I'm just gonna book it back. All right, I made it down the road. I gotta get gas. I gotta go all the way just yet. So I always do that for some reason on new builds. I don't fill the tank all the way, just in case for some crazy reason we're gonna drop the tank again. Restart. Okay, it started. The gauge is sweep. Okay, it's cold out. Drive with care. Oh, we got it back. No way. Huh, okay. Remember, this is like a cluster out of 140,000 mile Silverado. I don't think clusters go bad though. I mean, it's sweeping. It's gotta be a crank sensor issue. Yeah, it's not misfire anymore. Before it was missing. Okay, I'm going to the shop. We're cruising along on the highway. Everything is back to normal. It's running great for now. It's the key word, for now. I thought everything was fine after 25 miles of driving yesterday. But it's a flood car, people. It's a flood car or truck. Since I'm a pickup truck guy now, I gotta listen to some country music. I guess technically I've been a pickup truck guy for like 3 or 4 years because I do have an SVT Lightning that you guys keep asking when it's gonna be done. But I'll let you in on little secrets while I wait for stuff to come in for this truck, control units, and even when literally the computer is programming, I am working on the engine on the Lightning. So when you guys finally watch that series, you'll see a lot of Silverado parts in the background. That's because I'm doing both trucks at the same time. We made it. And we have crankshaft code and an ignition coil 7. This has been popping up, so I think we have a bad coil. This is probably due to it running bad. We haven't had any cat codes yet, so it was underwater, just like that coil, and the other ones, I guess, too. We should probably take a look at them all. Of course, 7 is all the way back here. Let's see. Ooh, yeah. That's not good. But the good news is the connector, and I pulled a pin, this is just rusty. The plastic hasn't melted or anything, so the rust there was making an intermittent connection and throwing a circuit code. I don't think the coils are actually bad. They are super, super vacuum sealed, so I don't think any water got in here at all. I think it was just in the connector. The rust made the connection. That's it. So normally I would say just replace all your coils, but if you want to get the good GM ones, it's like $350 for the set, and I don't think we need to spend that money. I think these are fine. I think we can do a wiring repair, put this all back together, and then just test it. You know, if it's good, it's good. You guys know the deal. We're gonna spray them down, and we'll give them a little scrub. And we'll slide these guys right back in. Go back home. Don't ever make contact again. You're divorced. You're divorced pins. So even though this is sealed, it's hard to get anything in here to clean up the rust very well. I'm just gonna replace this one coil. We'll just test drive it and see what happens. Cylinder 7 coil, here you go. These coils are super easy. I might just buy one extra one for the road trip. We'll throw it in the glove box just in case, but I think we're gonna be okay. Everything is back together. I did the other side as well, and every other electrical connector on this engine I have removed and cleaned. They were all fine though. Let's see, is she running good again? Oh yeah, she's smooth as glass. All right, cool. We gotta get to the crank sensor, which is unfortunately like behind the starter. All right, the battery disconnected. We're gonna drop the starter. Oh, starter bolts are on there. All right. Oh, it's the old starter. Not bad. Works good. There she is. There's our crank sensor. Not the easiest thing to get to. Now here's the plug, and yeah, it's got a little rust in there. It's not horrible. The coils were way worse. I pulled the sensor out, and the bottom looks fine. This is totally sealed, but there's rust in the connector. I don't know if you guys can see this. There's some droplets of water too. There's still water in here. This thing's 30 bucks and it's a pain to get to. I'm gonna put a new sensor in. We're gonna clean the pins just like we did the coils, put this thing back together, and then we're gonna go for another maiden voyage trip before the maiden voyage to, 2.5 hours away in Wisconsin. We'll just see what happens, see what comes up. Here is our brand new crank sensor. Hard to show what's going on here, guys, but basically there's a hole and I'm gonna put the sensor in it, and then we have a bolt. That's about it. It's in. We have a new sensor. Yay. We're gonna add a little bit more dielectric grease here too. Get in there. Okay, that's good. New sensor's plugged in, starter's back in, we're all wrapped up here. Before we lower the truck, I have to spray our heavy duty metal protector from Amsoil. This is the undercoating I use on everything, and it's so easy. It goes on as a liquid, but will dry as a wax, and we're gonna get it everywhere. I think rust looks way worse on camera, and people from the south are just gonna think this is bad no matter what. But guys, this is just surface rust. Check this out. Literally just surface rust. This is super solid. This is actually a really solid truck overall that's not rotted out. Pinch welds look great. Everything looks awesome. If this was a show truck, we could get some black paint or something like that, but it's not. We just want it to be functional. So we're gonna protect it No prep, this stuff just goes on just like this. You can do your whole car or truck in probably about an hour. It's actually a ton of fun. And then you can live with peace of mind that your car or truck is not going to rust out. Definitely wear some breathing lung protection with this stuff. I love doing this. And I'm gonna leave you guys a link down below. You can get 25% off all AMSOIL products by becoming one of my preferred customers. Russ, who we're gonna meet in Wisconsin if this thing makes it, really wanted his lake access permit stickers, so I'm gonna give them to me. He kind of had a collection going. These I'm gonna remove, but I don't think he needs these back. I mean, if I can get them off nicely, I'll give them to him, but they are just stickers at the end of the day. So there we go. I'm peeling off the fish sticker right now, and I gave him a temporary Jerry curl type of haircut there. See ya, he still looks angry. Let's see, if we take his eye out, will he still look angry? Yeah. Man, Ross, I am really trying to save these stickers. Oh, come on. Gotta get this one whole. Yes, I got one whole. Sweet. This is all cleaned up, by the way. And yes, I'm leaving the flood line for a while longer. I think it looks pretty cool. There you go, Russ. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. I tried, though. You know what? Since we have working headlights, I've had these LED bulbs that I believe are the same as the Silverado, so let's put these in. Okay. This out. There she is. I think this is the same one. And now we're just gonna plug these new ones in. These are nice and LED. Definitely putting the seal back because this is most likely what saved my headlights to begin with. It's a great seal, GM. There we are. Oh, wow, that looks great. So these are factory projector housings. That's perfect. Look at the difference in the wall. That's crazy. Wow, look at the difference there at night. I mean, with the lights off in my shop, that is insane. This is the older generation Silverado, but it doesn't look that old from the outside, and this makes it even look newer. Wow, that is amazing. Look at, this is like 2025. This is like square body, like 1985. What a difference. 50 bucks on Amazon, you can't beat it. True test will be at night, but I just shut the lights off. We have pretty good skylight system here in the shop, but anyway, bam, that's with both of them. And I did the brights LED as well. Ah, that looks great. I love it. Very impressed, guys, very impressed. This is so funny, by the way. This was totally clear. We had no condensation in any of the lights up here. Look, they were all like that. And now that it's been out of the lake for a few months at this point, since October, we have condensation in this one. I mean, this just started, man. Like, that's crazy. Look at this, if I hit it, it kind of goes together. It's annoying. We got Dennis Does Dents on the way to fix this door crease and a couple other dents. And if you guys remember the picture of this thing where it was completely submerged, this door looks like it's coming off, like it is just about to get ripped off. So that's probably what happened there. It went into the fender right here. It lines up perfect. What's crazy to me is how well the door functions after seeing that picture. Like, this is just how far it's supposed to open. I did notice some damage to the door check. So there's the inside of it. You can see it's all mangled, and here are pieces of it. I think the door check took the brunt of the force, but if you look at these right here, the actual door hinges, they're in good shape. I mean, look at that, nothing's bent at all. That's insane. I think if Dennis gets the dent out, this door will close just fine. All right, we're gonna have to do some real surgery here. For all intents and purposes, this door is a goner, but Dennis said if we can take the door off and the glass, he'll put it on his bench and he'll try his best. He's worked miracles before. With the door check taken apart, we can see how much this door opened. I think it actually opened more when it was in the water. It's so crazy how well it works. Nothing pulled out here. Like a rock, it's a Chevy. Door's coming off. Whew. It's pretty light. It's my new purse. It's my Silverado door purse. It doesn't sound that way at all. We have the door on Dennis's table with some good lighting so we can see the crease here. And so what happened is the bolts that go into the door on the hinges were fine, but this bent here. So I got some longer bolts. We're gonna thread these in. So we have these two here. If we're able to put some downward pressure on here, we could maybe pop this up. And you can see how bad this is. It's like a little spoiler back there. It needs to be parallel with the rest of the door. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Does Dents is back again. It's been a while. I don't even remember the last car we did together. It's probably been like a year or something. Was it the DeLorean? Yeah, he took out a ton of the stainless dents from there. So, you know, it's just a Silverado. It's just normal. These are dents from the parking lot, Dennis. Nothing weird happened here. Yeah, I sent him the picture and he's like, seriously? I'm like, ah. So we have our long bolts threaded in and our breaker bar. Let's see what we can do here. We're just gonna try and bend it back gently. Yeah, we gotta be gentle because there is a nut that's welded on the inside and those welds are probably compromised from them bending, so we don't wanna break them off completely. And we're gonna try this one too. You can see this bolt is so much higher than the other one. Yeah. All right, we've bent that as much as we feel comfortable with. Now Dennis is gonna work on this massive crease. Dennis just pulled the door check out. This thing just blew up. Wow, I cannot believe how well this worked.
It's amazing. Like I don't understand how it's still, how it's still able to function as well as it did.
It's coming up a little. It's a tough one though. It's crazy that does not damage the paint at all. Dennis has had to get a little bit creative here because of the extent of the damage. So we actually have ratchet straps and my lift arms, and he's glued the strap right here. And Dennis, what exactly are you trying to do?
Basically, I'm putting tension on the panel just so the metal has somewhere to move. When the panel is so contracted like this, it's very difficult to get these lower parts to come back up. Just roughing it and see what's gonna happen. It's basically an experiment. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen with this. It's really bad, but we'll figure it out.
Trailer brake system issue. We fixed the four-wheel drive issue with this switch. I think it's just this. And for 40 bucks brand new, you get the switch and the whole bezel. So hang on, let's just plug this in really quick. See what happens. It should come back right away. No, nothing, guys. We're good. Came back immediately last time. Okay, the only light we have on right now is for the airbag since, you know, we have the door off. Getting fixed. Cool, another light down. This is great. After we get the door back on and clear the airbag light, I think we're done with lights on the dash. Knock on A-pillar. Never know. Now we're trying to straighten this out a little bit. It's working. All right, guys, that's all she wrote for the door. This is about as good as Dennis thinks he can get it. So we used to have a massive crease right here. That is gone. There is still a little bit of a divot here. What's nice about this really cool paint job is that it's hard to tell, but yeah, this part is just too severely damaged. The real right repair here would be literally a brand new door. But if I can find one in this color that doesn't need any work, I'll buy that, slam it on, and the truck would be like mint, especially after we get the dents out here on the bed, which aren't nearly as bad as the door. This eventually will need to be painted though. That's for sure. We're going back on. Glass is back in, door panel's back on, new door check installed. And that is a beautiful thing. So before it was pretty difficult to close because this part of the door was like almost rubbing on the fender. The seal was hitting it mostly. So outside of Dennis making this door look a million times better, it now closes properly. So it's not perfect, obviously. There's a little something right there. But the alternative to this is a new door or a used door. I found a few that are in okay condition. They need paint work and dent work for like 700 bucks. So then you add in the paint work and all that, 1,200, something like that. Or we just kind of live with this. I don't know. This is good enough for now. I think what I'm gonna do is just wait in case I find a door one day that's in this exact color that doesn't need any work and that bolts on. But yeah, that's good. Eventually I do need to get this fixed, which we're gonna find out the story on why that happened. It was from the whole, you know, boat ramp thing. I'm thinking about getting stickers made just like this. I think that would be really funny. But for now, we have to put a legit streetcar sticker on the bottom left-hand corner here, right about there. Bam. Now it's officially my truck. I did an LSC plate in the front. I'm gonna grab a bunch of tools, fingers crossed that we make it on this trip, but we're gonna head out to Wisconsin in the morning, meet up with Russ and his brand new Silverado that he bought after this thing was totaled out, and we're gonna get the full story. And I think I gotta back this thing up onto the boat ramp where this all went down, just for memories. Well, it looks like we have a CAT efficiency code bank 2, so it'll run just fine with that code. The catalytic converter could have gotten damaged with it being filled with water. Could be an O2 sensor also, but I bought this like scratch and dent guaranteed to pass emission system cleaner. It was like $6, like 75% off. Double your money back. I coincidentally have a half tank of fuel, so we're gonna dump this in the gas tank and we'll drive it for 40 miles, then fill the tank. And it says right here, this will help with certain O2 sensor performance codes. Do I think this is gonna gonna work? No, not at all. Do I wanna try it for $6? Yes, worst case, we might have to do an O2, possibly a cat, but I doubt it. So anyway, we'll run this and then our trip to Wisconsin will let us know if that code comes back. Mechanic in a bottle, going in, fix all of my problems. Ooh, it saves gas too, sweet. This is funny. Use 4 times per year to maintain a healthy fuel emissions system. Yeah, okay. That's a lie. I cleaned up our used AC push button control, and now everything doesn't have that crunch to it. Nothing sticks and everything works. Sweet. Oh, and if you guys remember the car's CD, this thing fully functions, but Russ's new Silverado doesn't have a CD player, so I get to keep it. All right, guys, this is it. This is the morning. We attempt to drive my Silverado to Wisconsin to meet up with the previous owner at the boat ramp. I got this thing running, warming up. Here's everything we're bringing on the trip, a bunch of tools, our computer, and I have the LSC Ultra pen light and some wipes to give Russ as a gift. No lights on the cluster, everything is perfect. We got some heated seats going on for me and my passenger. And here's my passenger, my wife. First ride in the Silverado.
So excited. I've always wanted like a big pickup truck.
This is like a real pickup truck.
It really is. Yes.
All right, so you've never even sat in this.
No.
First
I
time.
got my coffee. Ooh, it works.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's got power seats that work.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't always work.
Lumbar support.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I'm excited.
I had to give them 18 volts to work. I had to shock them.
Oh, here we go. I'm like, I was trying to find this button to push me forward. Nice.
We have mobile hotspot on and working on the website, fulfilling orders. And here we go, guys. We got a ton of Ultra pen light orders and the shop wipes. They're going crazy right now. Check them out. I'll leave a link down below. But we fulfill everything in-house, and Max and my wife handle the website and shipping and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I'll leave you guys the link down there. They're awesome. All right, let's do this though. All right, guys, I'm doing it. I have a phobia or something against filling a tank on a new project until I feel really comfortable that it's a successful project and I'm feeling comfortable. We'll knock on the flood line. Yes, that's still there. I'm gonna fill it. I'm gonna fill it all the way, and that's what the instructions on that stuff that's supposed to fix the catalytic converter says to do. Drive like 20 miles at a half tank and then fill it. So feeling good, feeling good. It's a 5.3, so it takes 87, but possibly not for long. I may do something to the Silverado. I don't know. All right, let's do this. Drive with care. We got some ice. This is the gas gauge. Go all the way to full. Yes, it does. Here we go.
Woo!
We're getting on the highway. Look at how smooth this thing is.
This is perfect.
Is
this
it?
is unbelievably perfect.
It's like new.
Yes.
Oh, hey, does your heated seat work?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, mine works too.
Okay, cool.
We put new switches in. They were only $10 at the dealership.
This is so insane.
It's a Chevy. But seriously, it's 10 years old.
Wait, is it Chevy built to last?
No, that's Ford is built Ford tough.
Okay, Ford
This
tough.
was like a rock.
Oh, like a rock.
But back in our day, like, what is it now? Chevy, geez, I should know this, but I'm more of the like a rock generation.
No, right, well,
You know?
we were born like, just what, 2 months apart?
Yeah.
Same generation as you, Alex.
We're the like a rock generation. And this thing sank to the bottom of a lake like a rock. But she's back. Seriously though, it's like new in here. Russ kept it so well, and now we get to go check out his new Silverado 2024.
Oh, I can't wait to see his new truck.
Yeah, he didn't get blue. He got gray. He said they couldn't find the blue one.
Aw.
Yeah, but
That's tough. I understand that. When you like a look, you want your car back.
yeah, this is the one I would have ordered from the factory. I just had to wait 10 years in the lake, you know? All right, we're almost there. We're getting off at the Madison exit. Where all my Wisconsin people at? We're getting about 16 miles per gallon. Yeah, to be expected, right? Is this a coincidence? I don't think so, but the song Chevrolet just came on. That's pretty crazy. I've never even heard the song, honestly, but it's probably a remake. Anyone else like Jelly Roll? I'm trying to get into him because we're going to see him this summer in Chicago, but so far so good. I like it. That's a good remake. This is it. Oh, there he is. Oh, that thing is sweet. Russ, that color is awesome. Pretty cool. Oh my gosh. So you said this happened at the
pier.
At the pier.
Yeah, when it went down. I sent you that picture and the truck was floating.
Yeah.
And then as it went down, it caught that pier. and did that. Killed me when I seen it.
I know. I'm gonna get that fixed. Don't worry. That's getting fixed. And then, do you remember the door? Like, how did you guys get the door to close after it was out of the water? Because in the picture you sent me, the door looks completely bent forward.
It was.
Did someone just slam it or something?
Basically, I did. After the water drained out of it, I just went over to it and I tried to close it at first normal, and it wouldn't close right away. And I gave it a little punch, and I'm like, must have been sprung a little bit.
So we didn't replace it. Can you believe how nice we got it?
Yeah.
We took the whole door off and kind of fixed it up, and now it even closes. Like,
nice.
Yeah. So here she is.
Does everything work on it?
Yeah, man. Like literally go ahead, take a seat.
Heated steering wheel and everything?
Okay, no. That's the one thing that does not work. But the heated seats work. There's no warning lights.
Cooling seats work?
The cooling seats work. Yep, the fans come on. The lumbars work.
It's, I never thought I'd see it again. You guys don't realize how much I love this truck. This truck was everything to me. It was my baby, and it hardly got drove. And pulled the boat mostly.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I mean, you took great care of it. It looks like a brand new truck inside.
Yeah.
You know, even after being in the water, you can't tell.
I can't believe you. I saw it when it was gutted and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, he's never going to get that thing back together. But you did a great job. It looks awesome.
And you bought this new, right?
Brand new.
Yeah.
It's for my 50th birthday.
Okay.
I bought it for myself. And it was the first new truck that I had had in a long, long time.
Wait, you're 60?
Yep.
You look like you're 50.
I'm 59.
Whatever.
I'll be 60 this year. So.
All right, we're getting a lake house. It's that lake life.
Yeah. But yeah, this truck is just incredible. You did a fantastic job. Wow.
Thank you, thank you.
Amazing.
So we did replace the cluster, the screen, some of the buttons here. But by new, I mean like used. Like we got a lot of this stuff used for like $50. Like these heated and cooled seat switches were $10 new from the dealer.
Oh, you're kidding
So
me.
everything is like really inexpensive. But the one and only thing that currently doesn't work is the heated steering wheel. But I'm gonna get it working. It's probably just needs the steering wheel switch button there, which is like super
The cruise works and all that
Yeah,
sort
the
of stuff?
cruise works. Like literally every single thing in this truck works perfectly. It runs and drives beautifully. I mean, we just drove it 2 hours from Chicago, and it was awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And it doesn't pull any codes or anything?
No,
Air codes?
no, nothing. Well, that's actually part of this test drive. The one last code we were getting was for an O2 sensor, which is no big deal, and it hasn't come back. So,
Cool.
fingers crossed.
Wow.
Yeah.
All my buddies are like, oh, it's going to have so many electrical problems and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, the way that everything was sealed up, and
Hey, look, it should have like a million electrical problems. Your friends aren't wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the same thing. I've never done a fully submerged flood car like this. I didn't know what to expect. It could have been a part out. I bought it assuming that worst case I'd have to part it out and get my money back. But with fees, I'm $6,500 into this car, and then maybe we'll go over this in a little bit, but I think I have $1,500 into it.
Wow.
So for $8,000, I'm driving this thing around. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
How many hours do you think you got in it, though?
I don't know. I mean, filming doubles or triples my time, but if I wasn't filming any videos, 40 hours.
No kidding.
You know? Like nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It's not like I had to rebuild the engine or anything, you know? Like,
Well, you did tear it down quite a ways.
yeah, with the oil pan, you know, it was
and
like
the
a
oil pan
5-hour
thing.
job, you know? So, no, honestly, the labor time has not been bad. The parts haven't been bad. Everything's been great. Chevy has not flagged this thing, so it actually has 2 open recalls. I can bring it to the dealer and they'll do them for me.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, they have no idea it was flooded, so I'm gonna go quick before they figure it out.
No doubt.
I'm also gonna get some more keys. You don't have any more keys, do you?
No, I think I sent all the keys to the insurance company. They had fobs and everything.
Darn, they didn't.
They requested them.
They just put one.
Oh, really?
You don't happen to know your insurance company well. Do you think you could call them?
State Farm, yeah.
Were you there when they drew the flood line?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't know who did that. And the dealer didn't do it, so.
Yeah.
Because I seen it at the dealer.
They brought it to the dealer?
Well, they originally, State Farm says it's fixable. And I'm like, you think it's fixable? And they're like, yeah, we think it's fixable. And I'm like, okay. So they took it to Bergstrom in Madison here, dropped it off there, and basically said, give us an estimate. They waited a couple of days and then kept calling the insurance company going, okay, let's move on with this. Let's move on. I got to buy another vehicle. And then they came through and Bergstrom went out and looked at it. There was water in the cup holders and he was like, it's not fixable. It'd take way too much for a dealer to fix this.
Yeah.
So, but obviously it is fixable.
It is, but I understand why a dealership and an insurance company wouldn't want to fix this car. If I was them, I wouldn't want to fix it either, because especially with the safety features of the vehicle, if they're at all compromised, I mean, you have to replace everything. It would cost so much for them.
Right.
Because then 2 years later, if something happened, you could sue them, you know? So I get why they wouldn't do that. I mean, they total cars out for a lot less than being fully submerged in a lake. I'm surprised they actually considered it.
I was too. I was like, well, they put it in their computer and says it's fixable.
No, they never fix flood cars, especially when it's this high.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, you saw the flood line, where it's way off.
Yeah.
It's like 2 feet higher.
The rearview mirror was out of the water, I think.
Yeah.
And this, maybe.
Yeah, the headliner was saved.
Yeah.
I was
see.
talking to one of my YouTuber friends on the way up here, and he's like, hey, you sound pretty good for a Silverado that's been underwater. And I'm like, this mic was the only thing not underwater.
That's true.
Oh, man. This is awesome. Russ saved the floor mats for me. That's so cool. Wow. Russ's truck is sweet. Thanks, Russ. Appreciate it. Look at that. He grabbed the floor mats out of it when it went into the lake, or after it went out of the lake, I guess. So I have the floor mats that came with it. They're really nice rubber ones that are for the Silverado. And the tonneau cover. He took this and then you negotiated money back from the insurance company or something?
Yeah, I wanted it because I thought maybe it would fit this truck.
Yeah.
And
what'd they give you? Or what'd you have to give them back?
150 bucks.
Oh, man, that's great. So I'm buying this off of Russ. I'm like, I'll take it. It's for my truck.
It'll fit right on.
Hey, this is like the first thing I'm hauling in the back of my pickup. My own tonneau cover.
These tires had like 6,000 miles.
Oh, those tires have like 6,000 miles?
Yeah.
No way. They look like brand new.
They were very much. The tires that were originally on that vehicle were not very good tires.
Oh,
it was more of a street tire.
I got new shocks on order. Nothing wrong with those, but they're just kind of rusted out and stuff.
Yeah, it didn't see a lot of salt.
Yeah, no, it looks great under there. Like the frame looks fantastic. It's clean for a Wisconsin truck, you know?
Yeah, it was garage kept all the time, heated, cooled.
It's awesome.
It happened right on this end here, but you can see how low the water is. And that's part of what happened. The water was so low that I had to back the truck in just a little bit further. And it put the wheels on the slick ramp. Then I went back and bumped the boat off and the truck just started coming.
And it was in 2-wheel drive, right?
Yep.
Okay.
A couple of things you should always do. Good learning lesson. Put your parking brake on. I've been dumping boats for 35 years and I had a bad situation with a parking brake at one time. So I kind of got out of that habit.
Yeah, because it can lock up sometimes, freeze up, yeah.
It's a good habit to be in.
Yeah.
And then we also thought about putting it in 4-wheel drive. You know, if it would have been in 4-wheel drive, it would have stayed in 4-wheel drive if you had it parked. I don't know. It just depends on the type of...
Yeah, it depends on the type of truck, but on this one, I believe it would have helped for sure. So Russ was a little hesitant on being in the video because his boat was floating in the lake here. But I'm like, you know what? This is gonna happen to anybody with algae on a boat ramp. And you know, with some of the views my videos get, we could actually maybe help someone else just understand that this can be dangerous, because I've never put a boat in the water, but like one day I wanna get a boat, I'm gonna have a first time. And maybe I don't know that. Maybe I don't know how slick these ramps can get. So hopefully it'll help someone out there. These ramps can get really slick with algae. Keep it in 4-wheel drive, parking brake, be careful. And then you had said the back end was floating first and you had your tonneau cover sealed up, which those seal with weather stripping, it looks like, which could have created like a little bit of an air bubble to help that back end kind of float. So maybe keep that open.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the back end started floating, the truck just rolled right down and couldn't stop it anymore. So it was
even maybe chalking the front wheels at a certain point, something like that. So
boat ramps can get really busy, especially on the Madison chain, and you know, to take all those extra steps, sometimes you want to try to get in and out really quick so you're not holding up the line. And I guess you just got to take a little bit extra time and, you know, do it right.
Yeah,
I've learned my lesson now, so hopefully it'll never happen to me again. But I've had some friends happen it to them, so.
Worst case, you just need about 2 weeks worth of work and you can get your truck right back going again.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, apparently.
If you're capable, I guess you can do anything.
Oh man, I gotta walk down this ramp a little bit. This is awesome. You can see how thick the algae is. I mean, look at that. That is crazy. Like, you need good tires for that. I told myself if I successfully rebuild this Silverado, I'm driving it back to the boat ramp and I'm backing it up for a picture. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm in 4-wheel drive. So we're bringing it back to the scene of the crime. I'm gonna pretend I have a boat, which I don't. One day, boats are cool. All right, we're not gonna go that much further than that because there's ice. But here she is. All right, parking brake on, 4-wheel drive. Guys, seriously, could you imagine if I go on the ice and it did slide back and we did this all over again? That would be hilarious. Oh man, this is great. You hopped on here and then walked around to get onto your boat, right?
Yeah, so you just come around. I don't know if I cut through here or not. I just walked down here and the boat was sitting right there and I just jumped in the boat from about here and started it up, put it in reverse, went to bump it off, and kind of caught my eye that the truck was moving, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So then I threw it back and forward, and I pushed the truck, what I thought, up far enough, and pulled it out of gear, and went and jumped out of the boat to get back in the truck, and it just started coming. Just started sliding.
So one thing I had assumed was that you were getting your boat out of the water at the end of the season. You were putting the boat in the water just to go fishing, right?
Yep.
And you said there were like 40 first responders here or something like that?
There's like 19 emergency personnel that responded. City, police, county police.
They had the diver in here, right?
Yep. 2 firefighters went in the water to hook the truck back up, and the DNR came down, conservation warden, and then there was a crowd of people eventually that were all standing around, and I'm just shaking my head going, wow, can't believe this happened. So,
you know what's crazy? I still haven't found a video yet. Like someone had to have taken a video of this thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy.
That I don't know.
So here's all the water that was in my truck.
Yeah, so the truck ended up at the end, and I had a trailer on it too, so I was like, how far can it go? And I didn't realize really how deep this was here. In history, it's been a little shallower over on this side, but they did some work here, and they must have dredged it out enough to sink the entire truck.
Gosh, it's funny. One of my kids was like, well, Dad, if he didn't do that, you wouldn't have this really cool truck right now. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess if we're thinking of the positives here, then yes.
Yep.
Oh,
well,
man.
It's really cool that you got it running, and it's beautiful. I mean, it runs good, sounds good, starts right up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You want to go for a quick ride?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Never thought I'd drive this thing again.
It's smooth as glass.
It is. It's just like it was. It was always a very comfortable truck.
Yeah, this is the first time my wife's been in it, and obviously it's the longest we've driven. I've just driven this from my shop to my house like twice, and everything was great.
Cool. It's even cooler that there's no problems.
I know. For how long we'll see, but I think we did a pretty good job. I went through the whole harness, cleaned all the pins, lubricated them, sealed them, replaced everything that was corroded, or even if it was working and corroded, I just replaced it for the most part. And yeah, it's been great.
It looks fantastic. You did a really good job, Alex.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. I'm kind of hooked on a lot of your videos now.
I appreciate that.
The Cadillac Escalade was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, with the supercharger?
Yeah. The look on your wife's face when she took off the first time, her eyes got really big, and I just sat there and laughed about it. I'm like, that's funny.
A lot of people in the comments are like, how long till I supercharge this thing?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
God, this ride's nice.
Yeah. How is it compared to the new one? I'm sure those are really nice.
My new truck rides pretty good. I looked at getting another LTZ, but I just was, or a model similar to the LTZ. And I was just like, I really don't want to spend that much money. This was a very expensive truck in its day.
Yeah, we were able to salvage the window sticker. It was like $55,000.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the same version of this truck now is at least $65,000.
Yeah. I got mine on a pretty good deal. 0% financing for 48 months. So I was like, that's like free money.
Yeah. No, that's great.
So
I didn't think they were still doing that stuff. Did you ever have any major work done to this while in your ownership?
Nope. And I did just change the transmission fluid. You said that in the video.
I saw that in the Carfax,
Yeah, and I did change it. I wanted to do it before 50,000 miles. I think I did it right before 50,000 miles. I think GM at that time was like, we'll warranty it for 100,000 miles or whatever. And if you get your oil changed, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead and do it.
No issues with the engine?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope. I had a little chirp every once in a while when it was idling. It was like maybe a pulley or something like that. It would just chirp just a little bit every once in a while. And I'm like, what is that? I took it in, they put a new belt on it.
That was it?
It still did it. Like, they're not worried about it. So
man, I haven't heard that yet. Maybe the water fixed it.
Yeah.
I did have to do I repacked the grease on the AC.
I saw that.
Bearing, and that was just straight up from the water, you could tell. But other than that, the accessory drive has been fine. Everything works good.
Yeah. Shift's good. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I thought for sure with water in the transmission that it would have damaged it. Some of the plastic parts in there and things like that.
Same, especially when I saw that the shifter was like literally frozen. I'm like, oh, what's this gonna look like inside?
Banging on it with a hammer, I'm like,
well, yeah, it looked worse in the video. I was being very gentle. Because I'm like, it should just move with like almost no resistance, and it didn't. So there was only a little bit of water in the trans. It wasn't too bad. We did 2 flushes on the engine and the trans. So this was running when it
was.
went in, right?
Yeah, typically
Okay.
I always leave my vehicle run when I dump a boat. Don't always necessarily leave the door open. I think I was just in a hurry.
Yeah.
And probably part of the cause of all this was because I was in a hurry. It was running, and as it floated back, the muffler obviously was under water, and it was bubbling away and bubbling, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then all of a sudden it just stopped.
How long do you think it was running underwater for, essentially?
Well, the whole event happened in like 15 to 20 seconds. I mean, that's how fast it was in the water
Okay.
and floating. And it probably floated for another, I don't know, 30 seconds, but it wasn't running that entire time. It was probably running for another 15 seconds
Okay,
or
so it died out probably 15 seconds in the
Yeah.
water.
Yep.
And then how long was the truck actually like submerged? Like when it stopped like going down the ramp and it was fully submerged, how long was it in the lake for?
I would say about 40 minutes.
Okay.
That's about what it took for the towing company to show up and the divers to be able to get a hook on the front hooks. They were having a hard time doing that.
So
And they're like,
40
are you sure it has hooks? And I'm like, it
Yeah.
does. I thought you were going to have to replace the entire interior.
Like as far as the cosmetics inside of here, it's all original. It was all just electronics.
Crazy.
So 40 minutes where you could only see the very top of the cab corner.
Yep, about
Wow.
that. A couple of things that were kind of interesting, and I don't know if it was a safety feature or not, but the back windows rolled down. And I'm not sure why they did that, if it was a feature. The windshield wipers were going, which I've seen that before on trucks that get put in the water, that the windshield wipers start going.
Yeah.
And must just short out and take off or do whatever and start running. So it was not running that long, but it was running. I can't believe that the engine wasn't hurt more than
I know.
Then
So
what-
it must have died from something getting wet electronically rather than it sucking water into the actual engine, although there was a ton of water in there, but that was most likely just coming in through the intake
Yeah.
and everything. But yeah, the engine is just perfect.
it runs great.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
no
know.
misses, anything like that. It just, all the gauges
Yeah.
look like they're working well, and cool.
That's really
you did
cool.
a really good job.
Well, thank you so
I'm proud
much.
of you, man.
Thank you for meeting me out here.
Yeah.
Taking time out of your day. I appreciate it. This kind of, for me, I always love hearing the story of some of the odd cars that I buy, and to, be able to chat with the original owner and kind of see where it all happened is really cool. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, thank you. Enjoy your new truck. We got to grab some pictures though with these things side by side.
Yeah.
He's got a new Z71, so why not?
Yeah. It's a
All
good
right.
truck.
Thanks, Russ. I appreciate it.
Wow.
Yeah. She survived.
Still pretty clean.
Yeah, right. I got to do some engine detailing, but it'll look good. I mean, look at even this is okay. Like all this stuff got wet and it's fine. Like a rock.
It's a good truck.
Yeah. I just took some pictures with Russ's new truck right next to his old truck. And this is a 2024 Z71, really cool color. Look at that. Oh, this only has 1,500 miles. So the new Chevys are sweet. Look at the interior with the gigantic screen. I will say the one thing I don't like is the shifter right here. It doesn't fold down or anything like the F-150s do. It's just here and it's all electronic. There's no cable. It doesn't need to be here. It could be on the column. It could be a button or a knob or something. It just takes up so much real estate. So anyway, that's like my only complaint with these newer GM trucks. I do think his is a tad taller than mine. They're both Z71s, but this looks more lifted, I guess. Yeah, I think so. I think it is taller. So this is the RST trim Z71 off-road package. I don't know what the name of this color is, but it is nice. These are exactly the wheels I would get too. Oh, those tires I like those tires. These are nice too, but I don't know. I kind of want, something a little bit meatier, maybe a one meteor step up from these, something like that. That's a phrase, right? Meteor. This new one just looks mean. Mine is the LTZ, kind of the more luxurious chrome package and all that kind of good stuff, but I love it. I got you some stuff.
Cool.
Legit Street Car shop wipes.
Nice.
These are fantastic. If you're going fishing, whatever, you can wipe up your hands, and they're great, obviously, for the garage as well. And then an Ultra Pen Light, again, great in the garage, but you're a fisherman. So like all of this stuff applies, to anyone that does anything outdoors. So
Cool.
there you go.
Thank you.
No problem.
Take care.
Thanks, Russ. All right, you too. Talk to you soon. Russ is out. All right, we're heading back to Legit Street Quarters, and I'm gonna go over what it cost me to rebuild this truck, so you guys know if this was even a good deal, because with fees it was $6,500, but obviously I had to fix quite a bit. So we'll go over some numbers. you know, if we make it back, it could still break. It's a flood car. Well, it's 5 days later and I've driven a grand total of 600 miles in my lake flooded Chevy Silverado. And I wanted to do that just in case something else broke so I could add it to the grand total. And knock on my Eclipse GSX, nothing has broken on the Silverado. It's been fantastic. And I do think it is going to be my daily driver now. I love this thing. So without further ado, the grand total to rebuild my 15 Silverado LTZ Z71 that it was at, you know, the bottom of a boat ramp was $10,100. So this truck cost me $5,300 at the auction, but then there's $1,200 in auction fees. So $6,500 to get this truck, and then $3,600 in parts. So $10,100. The insurance company paid them out $29,500, which is just what this truck would be worth, you know, a normal non-flooded clean title one. And I do think this truck, especially if someone came out and looked at it, because it's like, you can't even tell. I think it's worth in the upper teens right now, something like that, maybe even 20 if you saw what went into it. So definitely a great purchase. And honestly, this would have been a great purchase for someone who is going to part it out as well, because I was looking into the cost of some of these parts, especially the body parts in excellent condition, like most of these, and they add up. I think you could, you know, sell parts off this truck for like $12,000 to $14,000. So no matter how you bought this Silverado, it was basically never going to be a loser. Now, this always doesn't happen this way, but I wanted to break down, you know, the reality and the cost. So anyway, I hope you guys have really enjoyed the series on my lake flooded Chevy Silverado. I do think there's a little bit more to come on this truck. I don't know, maybe I'll make it faster, I'm not sure yet. But anyway, if you did enjoy the series, give it a big thumbs up. Share this one, share the whole playlist with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's a free little button down there and it really helps me out. But most importantly, have an awesome day and I'll see all of you in the next video. And I'm done, and I'm so excited about the challenge of getting a car, and I'm so excited about the challenge of getting a flooded truck that was literally flooded up to here to live a, testing. Get some B-roll, Maximus of Primus. So I bought a flood, you can see ice literally everywhere dripping. You can see with that flood line, that means the entire dashboard. With that flood line, that means the dashboard was totally underwater. With that flood line, that means the dashboard was totally underwater, meaning everything behind her. At this point, I'm just gonna, yeah. So at this point, we just gotta wait for all of that to dry. We'll get the water out of the So at this point, we just gotta wait for all of that to, so at this point, all we have to, actually thinking about it. So that's hopefully gonna save our engine. Ow, acetone burns. Oh, hang on, with a fan spin? Yes. I mean, the fan motors were let's see if the fan was completely submerged. If the fan was submerged, you think this would be frozen? I paid only $5,300. Welcome to Legit Street Cars. Maxellini, this will be what we call in the industry a zip zam zoo. And by industry, I mean me and you. All of the bacteria and something I've been trying to figure out is, was the engine running? Something I've been trying to figure out is if the engine was underwater. Something I've been trying to figure out is was the engine running when it went underwater? Here's our setup here. Here's this, I have some setup. I had the fan on all of this. We're gonna plug in the head unit. We're gonna plug in the, what's this called? Head unit? Screen? I just ran a scan on the car, and I just ran a scan on the Silverado, so this is the engine computer. I just ran a scan on the Silverado, so this is the engine. I mean, honestly, when it went through, if it was fully submerged, communication that goes through there as well.
Wait, were you just filming?
Yeah.
Behind you.
Oh, and so we need to do a bunch of, and so everything starts with the engine computer. And so everything starts with the engine computer up top. And I want to test this junction block. And I want to test this junction block. And I want to test this junction block. And I want to test this junction block, which will also test the ECU. And I want to test this junction. And And I want to test this junction block. Don't flood out your car on a boat ramp like this, probably. I don't know, that's stupid, I shouldn't have said that. Boat at your own risk. The battery's getting low, but we have spark. Oh my. Seriously, air compressor. Trying to film a show here. To clean out injectors, not injectors at all. Okay. Well, it's the next morning. And I've had time to ponder. All right, well, it's the next morning and I've had time to ponder. And so now it's time to complete. And so now it's time to complete this project. Oh, really expensive part. Yeah. And now it's time to finish. Now my Shelby, and I'm pretty sure I have all the remaining parts needed to bring this Silverado back to. I did take this apart. It's just as corroded. Now, if you guys saw me taking apart the other control modules, that's what this truck actually has. That's what this truck actually has, and we programmed that. And if you guys are worried about using a bunch of water, and if you guys are worried about using water on your leather, these looking at the airbag material, the SRS, the airbag system also runs. The airbag system is also very sensitive. Testing.
Here, why don't you walk away?
Testing. I did this stuff on the wife's Cadillac as well with the 8-speed, so both I did this. I put the same stuff in my wife's Cadillac 8-speed. Another problematic. That is the legal spadelet. Rust looks way worse on camera. I think rust looks way worse. I think rust looks way worse. And this truck already doesn't. I think this truck, this generation truck, and I coincidentally have about a half tank of fuel. It says half. I coincidentally have a tank. I think it looks cool. I dropped my kids off at school. I think it looks cool. That's pretty much it.